Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
From penis to vagina.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Where Heartbreak Feels Good with another episode of What We Watched, this time for December 2024, last month. A month filled with a bunch of new releases and a lot of catch-up, at least for me personally. I'm your host, Josh Woodbury, and my first co-host right here, Edgar Ortega.
Hello, hello, hello. 2 episodes in a row. What is the new year, new us?
Right?
No, I'm excited to talk about December. Like Josh said, a lot of catching up. It was a very slow month at the beginning for me because of school and work and everything. But in the second half of December, I did a lot of catching up. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about everything.
And Evan Harris.
Glad to be back. It's like we never left, Edgar,
Yeah.
On air yesterday, it got revealed to me.
Oh, yeah, you guys did that yesterday, huh?
Yeah, we did the Oscar recap, which you guys should watch. We didn't do Oscars. We did
box office.
Anyways, we did box office. So catch that. We gave our box office predictions for January through April and talked about the holiday season as well. So that was fun. Glad to be back. And yeah, same as you guys. December was a big catch-up month for me. I made it to 102
I did as well
this year. I saw Complete Unknown was my 101, and then I saw Nightbitch on New Year's Eve on when I was just chilling with my mom, and it was fun. 102, and then hopefully this year I can get to 103. January starting off pretty decently, like 5.
What's your highest so far? Your highest year?
I think last year I was in 102. Really? I haven't been, because I was looking at my favorite films of the past couple years, because I only got Letterboxd like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like 2021 I was at like 50. The COVID year I was at like 60 or something like that. And then 2021 I was like 80. Then 2022 I was like 90. And then last 2 years I made it to 100. So there we go.
I got to 135 2022.
2022.
Then last year, 2023, I did 109. Then I just reached 107 last year, 2024.
Nice. So maybe over 100.
Fucking 150 or some shit.
140.
Did you get a big boost this year because of a festival or something like that, or you just watched a lot of shit?
Yeah, that too. Surprisingly, not a lot of Netflix movies for me this year. Mostly just festival stuff.
I don't believe that.
Well, you'll see once we do our ranking episode.
I think I watched more Netflix movies than Edgar.
Yeah.
This is like the first.
Yeah.
This is the first year in a while I didn't do a festival, so that's probably why I'm like not as high as Edgar.
Yeah, I should have done Sundance last year. Now that I have like a stable teaching job for the past 3 years, I should be plopping down 150 to watch some Sundance.
Sundance is the prices this year are fucking insane. It's like 35 a movie.
35 used to be 20. 20 was good.
Yeah, used to be 15.
Man, what's the online package ticket? If it's like 150,
it's more than it is just buying them individually, like it usually is.
Oh man,
but like, there's not really much of a good online lineup this year.
Really? I haven't checked out the lineup. I heard it was decent.
There's a few decent ones. That's just in person though.
Fuck.
There's the new Cooper Wraith show that's entirely online, which is probably like going to be my only purchase this year. He has a new series coming out.
Josh watches TV shows? What the hell?
Right? I mean, if it's my guy Cooper Wraith, then of course.
Okay. So this would be exciting. Like you guys said, December was a big catch up for movies and TV for me. So let's start off with a packed month. Okay, so starting off, where's my list at? I guess my diary. I talked about
some rewatches, but
I feel like I already talked about these. Jeez.
The first new movie I watched was Maria.
Oh yeah, so we were talking about that. Maria. Yeah, let's talk about Maria. I didn't get the chance to see. I got the chance, I just didn't watch it. How's
Okay,
Maria?
I could say going into this, it was kind of technically November, but I watched Jackie for the first time, finally,
I never seen
and
it either.
I've seen Spencer. Obviously, I fucking love Spencer. It's probably still my favorite of the trilogy, but I really love Jackie also. I think it's like Pablo Larraín just does something so interesting with the biopic. He instills such like depth and interesting meaning with all three of these films.
He
And this
presents
one
it kind of
especially,
like in a ghost story type of
yeah,
yeah.
across all three. Also, but I think that comes like the ghost story aspect is like fully in Maria, which we'll talk about in a bit. But as far as Jackie, I think like Natalie Portman is incredible. It's probably her best. Like up there was Vought Sluts for me. Mika Levi's store is like out of this world, crazy. But yeah, then I rewatched Spencer. Obviously, like still don't can't understand the award season robbery of that movie.
I can understand it. I mean, it's not the most appealing movie in the world.
Yeah, but at least for cinematography, like how do you not?
Yeah.
Or score.
Wow.
Yeah,
Or
score.
score,
Score, I
yeah.
think should have definitely been there. Yeah.
And I think she was the best. Like Kristen Stewart was the best performance of that year.
What year was that?
21.
Yeah.
Was that the year like not Judy Garland?
Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, was that year.
That was Jessica Chastain.
I think Anna Haim for Licorice Pizza was up there for me too.
Had Jessica
she wasn't
Chastain
nominated
win
also.
the Oscar for that? That's wild.
I mean, she was good, but like, I don't understand how that was such a sweep too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was just because they love Jessica. I mean, she's great.
I mean, yeah, she's great. She was like her career deserving of it, but
yeah.
I don't know for that movie.
A lot of awards these years.
She was better in fucking Interstellar. Like she should have been nominated for Interstellar.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another movie that I watched this month, but we'll get into it.
Me too. Yeah.
Later.
Then finally, I found a screening of Maria here in LA, which was nice. And
you actually watched it in the theater?
I did. Yeah, it was really cool. It works really well in the theater, obviously, because this is probably some of the best cinematography of the year. What's fucking unbelievable. Like Ed Lockman, the king, has like the colors are so vibrant, but like, it has such a dreamy look to it that really adds to the ghost story of it all. It's like probably one of the most fascinating biopics I've ever seen. It's just what Pablo does to differentiate itself from the trilogy and from biopics in general. Like it's really weird the choices that are made with this film and the like Cody Spit McPhee character of it all.
Yeah,
like that was
like
out
a
of nowhere.
Yeah, it feels like a documentary. It feels like a ghost story. It's like
interesting though. That it kind of adds to it. It adds so many different aspects to make it so interesting and intriguing. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's such a dreamy, dreary movie, and I think Angelina Jolie, like we said, is one of the best performances of the year.
Yeah,
and I think this trilogy in general has become one of my favorites of all time.
Wow,
high praise, yeah.
Jesus,
where will you rank the movies?
Like within the trilogy?
Yeah.
Probably Spencer, Jackie, Maria, but I love all of them.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen Maria in a hot minute. When I first watched it, it was like in a plane on vacation, so maybe not the best way to watch that movie. But I would probably say that's like my least favorite one, just because I don't remember it as much. Maria just came out, so it's more fresh in my mind. But I would say that's my
Jackie,
second. And yeah, Jackie. Maria would be my second, and then first Spencer. Spencer's just something else.
Incredible.
But yeah, I agree with everything that you said. I do think I love Mickey Madison and a lot of these other performances from this year, female performances. But yeah, Angelina Jolie is just like on another level.
Another level, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a particular moment where, like, she does such a great job of portraying this character, this diva, as what she is, this charismatic, greater than life figure. But there's a moment kind of towards the third act where something happens to her on the street with with other people involved that it just completely shatters her. And she plays it so fucking well of like breaking your heart, because this is like the first real moment in the movie where you can where the mask is like completely off and you just see this woman just be this scared person who is just like anybody else. So yeah, I love this movie.
Nice.
Evan, when are you gonna watch this?
Yeah, I feel like you would like it, Evan.
I don't know.
It's really like put your mind away, sit down with it, and really like take it in.
I feel like I should just lock in.
Yeah, just lock into it.
It feels like one of those movies that seems like I'll get bored at, but you know, I'll look.
That's why I'm glad I watched it in theater, because like honestly, at least the first like hour, yeah.
Oh boy, you're selling me on it, buddy. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out one of these days. If she gets nominated, I'll check it out.
If she gets,
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you guys have after Maria?
For me, my first movie, I think, in theaters this month was The Order. Did anybody see The Order?
Ooh,
I finally saw The Order.
All right, want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult.
What a run! What a run! He's
What a
having.
year!
Nosferatu. He filmed Superman. He did The Order and
Juror 2.
Juror number 2. We can talk about that in a few minutes as well. The Order is excellent. A really fun time at the movie theater. Not like perfect by any means, but it reminded me of like those early mid-budget movies in the 2000s. That's just very, I don't know. It's cops and robbers, and that's exactly what it is. It doesn't do too much. It doesn't do too little. Jude Law is fantastic as like this, you know, cop who kind of wants peace but gets roped in because of his like innate obsession with crime and justice per se. So his kind of character was really well received. But then Nicholas Hoult is really like a phenomenal, chilling but intellectual, cold and calculated kind of character, where he preaches. I don't want to talk too much about the content of the movie, but like it's all about like, you know, these white nationalists versus the cops, basically. And he preaches like this camaraderie and just like, you know, this perceived injustice. Meanwhile, he doesn't care too much about his own actions, which is very interesting for his character. But yeah, I thought it had a great sense of like suspense and action, and the score was like quietly ominous as well all throughout the movie. So it was like constantly riveting. I was never bored. It was interesting conclusion, but not one that I was too upset at either. It just wasn't what I expected. So yeah, very solid movie. It was like in theaters for a little bit, but I would recommend people watch The Order.
I'm surprised that I was even able to catch this in theaters, because I feel like this would have been like a 1 week done.
Yeah,
I thought so too, but I kept on checking. I was like, oh wait, I thought I missed it, but then I checked and it got like an extra week in theaters. I was like, oh shit. So I went to go see it.
Deserving of one too.
What?
It's deserving in a way to be seen in theater too. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very, very fun movie.
I think it fucking rots. Like we don't. Yeah, like you said, Evan, we don't see these type of like cops and robbers thrillers like this these days. In my Letterboxd review, I was like, it's like kind of like a Michael Mann-esque thriller, but with the sweepiness of Insomnia, like Christopher Nolan's Insomnia.
Ooh. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
again,
it kind of reminded me of that movie a lot.
Great
like the
point.
tone and the back and forth between them two.
Yeah, I haven't seen Insomnia in a minute, but Insomnia has also the like ominous, like creepy tension to it between what's his name? Jumanji guy.
Pacino and Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah. Robin Williams, Pacino, kind of like that back and forth. Similar here with Nicholas Hoult and Jude Law. It's just they played so well off of each other whenever they interacted. And yeah, like this is the kind of movie you would just see on Netflix or Hulu, but I'm so glad that I got a theatrical run.
Yeah.
And like it's you go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I do think the characters do feel a bit underdeveloped. Nobody really changes, everybody just stays pretty static, but I do think like the director,
I think it's kind of purposeful in a way too.
No, yeah. Justin Kurzel, who just did his last movie, was it Assassin's Creed or something like that. He does a really good job of like building tension. Like that opening scene, you're locked in for the rest of the movie. And there's a particular scene, like the very first scene that Nicholas Hoult and Jude Law share, where
Agreed.
one of them is only aware of the other's activities, and it's just so riveting.
It's a classic trope, but it's done so fucking well.
Yeah, it is done so really well, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but something does happen like towards the middle of the movie where I kind of saw it coming, but it still kind of it got me with a certain character, supporting character.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought this movie was really entertaining.
Yeah.
I think it's like kind of horrifyingly relevant. Like its relevancy is simple, but it's really effective.
Agreed.
And like it's sad how timeless it is.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, because this takes place. This is not like a modern day piece. This
like
takes
50s,
place,
right? 50s, 60s.
I thought it was
70s?
later than that. I thought
it was
like
70s,
70s.
60s.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was 70s, 80s. Whatever. We're all over the place, but it's definitely not in modern day. Not in the 2000s. So yeah, I'll recommend this. Kind of like a modern Western cops and robbers. It was very fun.
Also, I want to shout out Alison Oliver, who also has a small role, but she's really good.
Oh, which one is she? Is she one of the wives?
She's the main wife, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Saltburn. Did we nominate her last year? I feel like we did.
We didn't.
For what?
I don't know.
I think we did.
For our awards, did we nominate her?
What movie was she in?
Saltburn. She's the sister.
Sister.
I don't think so. I think she was on the bubble. She was good.
Yeah,
she's great.
Okay. I feel like I already talked about Young Woman in the Sea last time, didn't I?
I watched half of it this month.
Oh, geez.
You haven't gone back to it.
Just for a quick recap, Young Woman in the Sea, Daisy Ridley sports movie on Disney Plus. I really liked it. I really had a fun time with it. I think the first act is very paint the numbers. The whole movie is like,
it's very, very generic.
It's very generic, but I think Daisy really elevates the material, and it's very heartwarming. I really liked it a lot.
She's good, but her accent is like very distracting.
Oh no, I really liked her accent. I liked her family dynamic. I think the arc the family goes on throughout the movie is very interesting. I think her sister is very interesting as a character, and I liked her journey. It was a much more of a riveting picture because people might watch it and be like, "Oh, is this just like the other water movie that came out last year?"
No, it's not. I didn't watch Naiad, but I can tell you it's way more interesting than Naiad.
Yeah, I think it looks more interesting than Naiad.
It's like just think Remember the Titans, like that era of Disney sports movie.
Yeah, Remember the Titans is an excellent movie.
It's great. It's not as good as Remember the Titans, but like it's that type of vibe.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It's a very uplifting, heartwarming vibe. So if you're on Disney Plus, you like Daisy Ridley, I would still really recommend Young Woman in the Sea. It's a very easy to watch, very enjoyable film.
Sometimes I think about dying instead. If you want a Daisy Ridley performance, that's all I'll say.
Is it more entertaining?
Isn't that like
a somber, quiet piece?
It is, but it's in my top 5. I love that movie so much.
And then I think I already talked about this one as well. Y2K.
Oh yeah,
this was horrible.
I think Edgar watched it too. So when he comes back,
where the fuck did I talk about this movie at? But yeah, Y2K is about Rachel. God, what's her last name?
Zegler.
Rachel Zegler. Star of Snow White. Rachel Zegler and a couple other people. The lead
Jaden Martell, right?
Yeah, thank you. Wasn't it Jaden Martell? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the lead. The movie's not good.
Not child masturbating in the bathroom.
Like this movie is just, it feels very. I think I talked about it where it's one of those movies that you just watch it and it's like supposed to be high while watching it. One of those like.
It's a stoner comedy.
Yeah, thank you. Stoner comedy kind of movies where shit goes crazy like 30 minutes into the movie. Y2K, the premise of the movie is that, at the turn of the year, instead of everything just being normal like it was in modern times, this one, it's Y2K happens and the robots attack the humans and the humans.
Oh, we're talking about Y2K?
Y2K. Edgar, did I talk to you about this? I forget. I was talking to somebody about Y2K.
I think you did.
Me and Edgar talked about it in person.
Yeah.
This movie is dog shit because I'm watching this and things are happening. I'm like, am I supposed to care? Like some of the characters like crying or getting very emotional. I repeat myself. none of the emotional moments hit in this movie. I don't know if I was supposed to care or not. None of the emotional moments hit. A lot of the characters just feel so cut and dry and boring to watch. I was in the theater and I was on my phone, like, man, it's doing like, when is this going to end? It was
on your phone.
The movie's so bad it made him go to his phone.
It wasn't funny. I didn't laugh a lick during this movie. Like the '90s nostalgia was interesting. You know, early 2000s '90s nostalgia, that was really interesting.
Two things, Evan. Two things.
It was bad.
One, I was kind of shocked that they killed as many characters as they did. It would be fine if I gave a shit, but you know,
right? Yeah, sorry.
And then second, I was actually sort of enjoying the movie up until the Y2K stuff happened. That's where the movie kind of
the premise of the movie is.
Yeah.
But in terms of the will they, won't they, like the kind of like the cute awkward romance,
yeah, like it's
all,
like it's cute, it's whatever. It's very predictable and cliche, but they make it kind of work.
Hell. But it did kind of work. I kind of like
that.
Just
okay, Rachel's Edward being great though.
Probably
exactly, and then it's Rachel being great and this guy being awkward as hell. But yeah, people are dying. I'm like, I think I'm supposed to care, but I just don't give a shit. And the worst part is the third act. You know, I don't want to spoil the movie. Don't watch this movie, guys, if you're watching. But the end of this movie, shit gets resolved, and people are just like, "Oh, cool." Like there was no kind of like reconciliation.
Yeah, like, are we not gonna talk about
anything that
this?
happened? I'm like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" Like, wow. Like it was baffling to me. I'm like, is anybody going to decompress about what just happened? I guess not. It's not that kind of movie, so whatever. It really baffled me. I'm like, and this was the weekend where I was like, do I watch this or the Order?
You watched this instead of the Order, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I really fucked up. I need to go watch the Order as soon as possible. So that was Y2K. Let's talk about. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna one last thing. It's funny because they introduce a character, one of the machines, who you think they're gonna try to make him seem as like, oh, this is one of the good guys. Like, not all of them are evil.
Yeah,
they just like completely disregarded.
He was like, oh, I know you. And then it's like, I guess not. I'm like, what is this movie trying to say or do or whatever? It was very weird, very very weird. I was upset.
If we want to segue to another A24 movie, if you guys are done with this, the same night as Maria, I also watched Queer.
Oh,
hey. Ooh,
I forgot about this movie.
What was that, Evan?
Get us started, Evan.
I didn't enjoy this movie. It's okay. It's whatever.
What I say?
It's like it's way too. How do I frame this? Like, it's subtextual to the point where I stopped caring after a while.
This is Suspiria era or like vibe with Luca.
Like, Daniel Craig is really good. His partner in this movie, what's his name? I forget the actor's name.
Drew Starkey.
Drew Starkey, thank you. I think the whole cast, I think, is very, very good in this movie, especially Daniel
Jason
Craig.
Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman, very fun performance from him. And I like the atmosphere that he sets up here at the beginning of this movie. It's a very kind of like loner, whimsical, if that even the right word for this.
Say that.
Kind of vibe to it, and I kind of liked setting up the atmosphere of this town and his like, you know, wandering vibe in the first act of this movie. That was very interesting. I was locked in, but after a while, like, nothing really compelled me. Nothing really changed for me. And the third act is just a lot of just like weird shit happening that just tuned out. It didn't really connect with me on an emotional level here.
I will say, usually when people say, "Oh, this movie's too weird," like, I don't like it, I usually roll my eyes at that.
I like weird movies.
Statements. No. But here's what I'm about to say. I do think the weirder stuff of the movie does come into the movie a bit too late for it to really mesh with each other. I still like it. It worked better for me than I think it did for you, but I can understand why it wouldn't work for others, because it does feel like, oh, the last 20 minutes is just all of this weird shit, and then bye-bye, it's done. But yeah, for me, I really enjoyed it. I think Luca's fascination with like destructive, lustful love how he continues those themes with all of his movies works really well here, especially with obviously Daniel Craig of it all. And I just love seeing this like tale of this like somber, lonely man who is kind of like giving his all to this relationship that is not really a relationship, while this other guy doesn't even really know what he wants. That's what really drew me into the movie. Funny story, it took me like 2 viewings to actually finish watching this movie. Because on my first viewing I had an emergency and I had to leave the theater, so I went back and saw it. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I understand the praise for Daniel Craig, but after seeing the movie, he wouldn't be in my top 5. Like I think he's great, but he wouldn't be in my top 5.
All right, so I feel like I'm a lot higher on this than you two are. I do agree that like I think the third act kind of takes a really sudden turn, but I think like after thinking on it, stewing on it, I think it really connects well to the rest of the movie. And it's like overall themes of longing. Like I think it's one of the best portrayals of longing and lust that I've seen in movies in a long time, maybe ever. Those shots of like on the movie theater when like we see the ghosty version of Craig is like with his arm around him, like, but it's not like his, I guess, inner or thoughts of that. But what we see is the reality of him like not being close with this guy. I felt that a lot. I think it's like, yeah, it starts pretty conventional, but it gets really like surreal, obviously, really like David Lynchian too, with its way of like using abstract visuals to like instill a certain type of meaning into the rest of the movie. I think it's really provocative. It's just like being obsessed with desire to the point of literally wanting to crawl into someone's skin. I think that's really interesting. That's a really interesting idea to explore. And I think Luca explores it really well here.
Yeah, I think, again, the visual language is really peak. Like, I think Luca really understands like how to depict interesting visuals to convey his meanings a lot of the times. I liked some of that abstract stuff at the beginning. I was waiting for it all to connect. And for
I
me,
think it does
really
personally
connect at the end, at least. I was just waiting for a moment to be like, oh, okay, this all makes sense for me. But the more it went on, I was just more and more baffled by it.
Agree to disagree, I guess.
Yeah. One of the best final scenes in a movie, I will say, like it's in the poster of like the house, in the bed. Yeah, it's really fucking good.
The shot of the blades intertwined is just so beautiful and heartbreaking. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, some of the best needle drops of the year too.
Dude, the Come As You Are needle drop is the best of the year for me. And I kind of disagree with you, Edgar. I think Daniel Craig is incredible here and one of my favorites of the year. I think it's one of his best performances. There's so much pain and lust behind every word and expression that he shows off in this movie. I mean, it's very much subdued, but it's fucking incredible, I think.
Yeah, I would pick him easily over like Timothy. I think Timothy, I don't know why he's even in the top 5.
Dude,
and if it was, it wouldn't be for fucking a complete unknown. It would be for another
movie.
Agree. This year.
Can we talk about a complete unknown?
Should we go to that next?
Let's do that next. Because I feel like I'm in the minority. But Edgar's talked about it right now, and I'm like, I watched the movie. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Timothy's in the top 5? Really? We're doing that? We're doing that. I watched it. I'm like, wow.
Don't anger Club Chalamet.
Oh god. I'm like, okay, he's better in Bones and All. He's better in
Dune Part 2.
He's better in Dune Part 1.
A long shot.
Both Dunes, Bones and All, Beautiful Boy.
Yeah.
Definitely Call Me by Your Name.
Little Woman, even.
Little Woman,
yeah.
Excellent. You should have won.
Lady Bird.
He's better in all his. I'm like, I'm watching this, and I'm like,
hell, he might be better in Wonka.
Oh, he is better in Wonka.
I mean, honestly, he hits some of those great notes in Wonka. Wonka's so good.
I think he's great here, but he's just a great actor, and
he's a great actor.
He's just portraying Bob Dylan. There's not really much else behind it.
Totally agree, and it's so weird to me because I'm like, This was supposed to be.
He does a great job of what he's saying not to do, but I don't think there's like he puts as much nuance into it as something else.
Yes, and I think that partially might be the movie. There's a lack of nuance in general for the movie, but yeah, I'm like, this is supposed to be Adrian Brody's threat. He's fine.
Right?
He's safe. I'm like, there's no way people watch that movie and think like, oh yeah, this is a winner contender for the year.
It's literally like Hydrogen Bomb versus Topping Baby.
Like, come on, like
I think it's just the effect of the movie being the last one to be released in 2024.
Yeah.
Probably. Like,
and people haven't seen Brutalist yet. That's also a big thing.
Yeah.
If this came out in March, it would have been like forgotten.
Yeah. Side note. Evan, I've already talked with this with Josh, but I'm gonna say it to you.
Please.
I do not understand why they're running Monica Barbero in lead when Elle Fanning should be lead.
No, they're both supporting.
They're both supporting? Oh, well, even then, like, I still think Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning definitely has
so much
better part. Yeah.
I mean, I like Monica a lot in this. I mean, Monica does a lot with her face.
And the singing of it all too. Like
the singing is the best part of this movie. I was locked in during the scene.
The music scenes are like incredible. It's well directed.
The live moments, the performances.
The lighting is great.
I was really locked in. There's everything in between. I'm just like bored.
I don't know. Okay, I think I like this a bit more than you. I don't think it was boring. I think there was this like it felt really cozy, and I think that's interesting for a musical biopic.
That's fair.
I kind of like that about it. The way it's shot, the vibe of it, like the environments, everything. It just felt very warm and cozy, and I kind of like that about it.
For sure, it's definitely not a boring movie. It's not overall, and it's not like an awful movie. I thought it was just pretty good. Like the live performances are excellent. Timothy is great. I liked Monica Barbaro, but I'm a huge Elle Fanning fan, so I was more.
Honestly, I think the best performance in this movie is Edward Norton.
He's so good too.
He doesn't have much, but whenever he's on the screen, you're glued to him. Like the little teary-eyed glances that he gives to Timothy, like are fucking incredible.
And I think out of all the characters, he's the one with like an actual arc.
Yeah.
The stuff in the third act when he's like trying to stop the performance, like you see like all that build up from the beginning and be like the only one who kind of like supporting him, and for him to end up in that point by the end of the movie, it works really well.
You feel the betrayal from Bob too, but also his like betrayal of himself for not accepting the change. For
sure, it might just be me because I'm not super at all really a Bob Dylan person. But the impact of the third act and like the chaos that ensues there didn't really hit me because I'm like,
I think it did.
For me at least, I was like, okay. The change that Bob do, the transformation that they want me to like be gripped by, like the audience was, didn't really affect me personally. I wasn't like, oh wait, this is a big betrayal. I didn't really feel that. I didn't really understand that full transformation, that transformative process for me. So I didn't. The whole like chaos.
This dude is from like a small asshole to a big asshole.
Yeah, I didn't get the huge asshole transformation. I liked what was
not
being
much
conveyed.
Of an arc there.
Yeah, I liked what was being conveyed from Edward Norton's perspective. I could understand that, but people were like, "Oh, it's good. Oh, it's bad. Oh, we hate this." But then people were clapping. People were upset. I was like,
it was very really what am I supposed to be feeling here? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. Because when I'm
during the big climactic music performance.
When I'm watching the audience, people were throwing shit at them. Spoiler alert.
They're also cheering too.
In real life, but like, yeah, like they're cheering, but people are throwing shit at him. I'm like, so he's not supposed to be. And the thing what's being said here is that like he's not doing folk music, right? And he's doing something different than folk music. People are upset that they want.
He's just doing electric with it. It's not just acoustic guitars and.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that part, I was just like, I think I understand what's going on here, but I just didn't really connect with it. So that whole third act chaos scene didn't really have me as locked in as the other live musical performances.
That's fair.
But yeah, I think my favorite scene is when he first does his duet with Monica. I think that's a wonderful scene.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that scene a lot.
Everything he has with Scoop McNairy too, like Scoop McNairy in this.
Oh,
really in it, but great.
Yeah, I think I liked him in BVS a little bit more. But I'm kidding.
Who's the guy in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah. He blows up.
Speak no evil, anyone?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's good. He's okay in that. And he's good in Nightbitch.
He is good in Nightbitch, yeah.
Even though my brother and my mom were like hating on him. I mean, that's the point of the movie, I guess.
That is kind of the point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Men suck. But it was enjoyable. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so Complete Unknown was solid. It's not cracking my top 30 or 40 of the year.
No.
But and Timothy's not cracking my top 5 of the year for best male actors. If there's any threat, it should have been Coleman Domingo.
Dude.
Yeah.
But okay, that's something else. But yeah, okay. And in terms
Honestly,
of
I think Sebastian Stan and The Apprentice is like in my top 5.
Oh wow, yeah, I still haven't seen that.
I think both performances I would count as one whenever we do our own awards.
No,
if we ever do it,
I'll take a different man over The Apprentice.
we just say both. How about that?
no.
No.
Are we gonna do 2? Are we gonna do A Complete Unknown and Dune Part 2? We'll just put it on both for Timmy. He had a great year. I would say in terms of James Mangold, his filmography, this isn't one of my favorite James Mangold movies.
It is one of your favorite, or isn't?
He's not.
Okay.
I loved Ford v Ferrari in 2019. That was a great.
He's kind of in a low spot right now.
I wouldn't say low. I mean, I didn't love Indy much at all.
Both of these are just like fine movies. Like
fine.
Destiny and this are just fine.
But I know he can cook.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen his 310 to Yuma remake?
I have not.
It's really good. You should watch it.
I really want to.
Speaking of the Mandold of all, like the mainstay of Mandold movies, Boyd Holbrook, great in this as Johnny Cash.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
Really good.
So good. He did some very good stuff in the third act.
Everyone's
more movies need
favorite
more.
weird little fuck.
Yeah, more movies need more Boyd Holbrook. Definitely weird. Okay, that was Complete Unknown, so we went up for that. A lot of Christmas movies. Edgar and I did watch Red One. We did a commentary about that.
You guys want to talk about it or no?
We talked about it on stream, so go check that out. But a little short synopsis. It's not good. It's entertaining. It's not awful. It's fun to watch with a friend. It's one of those simple and clean kind of movies. And I said this. I was shocked because given the behind the scenes chaos of it all, I was arguably more interested in Dwayne than I was Chris here, which is weird because the behind the scenes chaos was like Chris was there on time, but Dwayne was always late or whatever. But Chris Evans was very one note in this movie. At least Dwayne was trying, like visually trying to do something here.
Yeah, like he wasn't playing The Rock for some reason.
Yeah, and maybe he should have just played The Rock. But he was like one of the only interesting characters in the movie.
Do you know the meme where it's like, "You guys are in a crisis. I'm on my way." That's Celine Song with Chris Evans. Like,
oh yeah,
she's coming to give him a good performance. Finally,
is that this year?
Yeah, just for him to go back tomorrow.
Yeah, he needs that paycheck.
Did you guys talk about Gladiator? Because I finally watched that this month.
Oh yeah, talk about
Gladiator.
Part 1 or part 2?
2.
2.
I think we talked about it though. Right?
Yeah, we already talked about it. Yeah,
we talked about it.
Yeah, never mind.
You were high or some shit. You said while watching the first
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
we talked about both. Okay, yeah.
Crazy. Again, you were high watching Gladiator 1. Fucking.
Yeah, how is that crazy?
It's a fantastic movie. You're ruining it by being high.
Okay.
It made it better.
Jesus.
Speaking of high, do you want to tell us about your Sonic experience, Josh?
I mean, I don't, but I guess I will. I watched it when I was on vacation in a theater, and I got too high, so I had to walk out, and I finished it in a certain way online.
Oh my god! You Jack Sparrow ass motherfucker.
We want to talk about that movie?
We should. Let's go.
You're the biggest fan of this movie.
I loved Sonic 3.
Really?
I love this movie. Why is this not in my diary? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I mean, it's the best of the 3, but still just like whatever for me.
It's fan-fucking-tastic. This movie is fantastic, guys. If you're watching this, no, it's not. But it's
probably in Nathan's.
It's definitely in Nathan's, I think. We haven't talked about it.
Do you give it 5 stars?
I give it 4 4.
Oh, did he give it 5 stars?
He gave it 4,
He gave it
surprisingly.
4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's
Still better
it.
than Wizard of Oz
I
somehow.
haven't talked about this. It's 4, 8, 12, 16. It's number 18 for me.
That's high.
But like
18?
but this was
Out of
phenomenal.
100, over 100?
Oh,
Evan,
yeah.
come on.
Oh yeah, this was one of my favorite theater experiences of the year.
Weeb is showing.
People were clapping, cheering multiple times throughout the movie. Shadow is excellent. I mean, I grew up watching Sonic. I'm a huge
That's
Sonic fan. So I was so happy with the post-credits scene. I was telling Edgar, I couldn't even hear myself, my brother, during the post-credits. People were like screaming.
The only touchstones I have of Sonic are these movies and like the dubbed videos on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
those voiceover things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not great.
I just love Latina's Sonic.
I have like 3 or 5 Sonic games on the Wii.
The only relationship that I have with Sonic is that like in the 2000s when we used to go to Walmart and they had like the video game displays, you could see like the one with the Olympics and it's Sonic and Mario.
Sonic and
Oh
Mario.
yeah.
I would
Those
always,
games fucked though.
those games were lit. Those ruined friendships, man. Don't fight me in track and field. I was booking it. But I think everything came together so nicely for this movie. I think the trio of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles was very tight, very heartfelt. Tails got a lot.
Did you
to
watch
do in
Knuckles
this movie.
before this?
No.
Okay.
I'm not sitting down watching Knuckles. But I think Tails had a lot to do in this movie. Knuckles had some great moments, some great comedic moments as well.
I fucking love that Griselda wears those shit in the booth.
He does?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that for him. Never even seeing Ben.
Oh, when he's recording?
Yeah, when he's recording in the
That's
booth, he's like
incredible.
wearing the gloves.
That's awesome. I love that for him. But yeah, this movie, I think, again, the whole trio of Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic had a very heartwarming family vibe to it. Sonic's arc, he's growing bit by bit with every experience he's going across, and I think he grew a lot here in terms of his connection with Earth and especially with his family here, especially what happens towards the end of the act in terms of like how to react when the ones you love are in danger. I think that's reflected well with what happens with Sonic and Shadow, culminating in a very fun and way beyond my expectations fight between Sonic and Shadow, which I absolutely love.
Snyder the Blueprint?
What? Zack Snyder the Blueprint? Yeah, he did the Superman punch. It was so good. It was so cool. I was sitting
Their dad kind of rules in this movie. I will say that.
It was insane.
But didn't this too?
Jim fucking Carrey playing 2 wild roles here.
Very hit or miss for me, but the hits were great.
He plays Dr. Robotnik. Oh, he was all hits.
Yeah, I know about
He played
that.
Dr. Robotnik. Then he also played his father, Gerald.
Grandfather.
Grandfather. It was just his dual roles here were amazing. Unironically, I tweeted this morning. The dancing scene between the Robotniks when they're dodging lasers, one of the best scenes of the entire year.
Really? What are you?
I'm a huge fan.
What have you become?
Hilarious. What did I become?
Of the year?
Yes! I was laughing hysterically.
Wow,
This was great.
Okay. I was fine. I wasn't even laughing.
It was amazing.
Quick question.
Yes.
Who was more queer, Daniel Craig and queer, or Jim Carrey in this movie?
Jim Carrey.
Probably, yeah.
He like touches homeboy's mustache and like pulls him over. He was like, "I love our time together. I love the way you made me coffee and the way you fixed your coat." And I was like, "Oh shit, this was amazing." Their relationship has grown.
I saw
so
art
well.
that like concept artists where they were shared a bed.
Oh wow. It's so great. It's just so great. And especially again, I can't go on without saying again, Keanu Reeves was amazing. Again, went beyond my expectations for Shadow. His connection to Sonic, the flashbacks with Maria were really good. And I think that's her name, Maria.
I love how he's just basically John Wick, but if John Wick was the dog.
John Wick was the dog. It was just extremely emotional and heartfelt, and again, it came together really well in the third act, where Sonic something tragic happens to Sonic, and he's beating up Shadow, and Shadow's like, "This is how it feels." I was like, "Oh my god!"
I don't know anything about it, but spoilers. I saw like one of the theaters had a sign like, "Do not laugh when the girl dies."
Oh yeah, do not laugh. Luckily, like my theater was really locked in, so it was quiet. My theater was quiet during the emotional
Bunch of kids locked into Sonic.
No, you're laughing, Josh. But I went. What did I went to see? Let me think. What did I see before this? I think it was. I want to say
Mufasa.
it might have been Mufasa or something else, but I was in the one in Orange, 30, and there was a bunch of people.
Oh, side note. How the fuck
in.
did you not know the number correlated to how many theaters?
I didn't know.
How?
What are you saying?
But no, like all of these like grown ass adults, good for them. But like everybody like super excited, getting concessions, running to their Sonic screen. And I'm like, no, good for you.
Yeah, it's a generational.
It's like the meme, like a big fucking nerd.
Generational experience. And they're making more of these, and I'll gladly see all of the post-credit scene introducing.
I don't know what the fuck it meant, but it was really cool.
Two of my, or at least one of my favorite characters, and another great antagonist. And I think we're gonna go get some crazy time hijinks in the next one, which I think already has a release date for 2026 or 2027, which has me super excited. I want these movies to go on for a good long time. I think the director
it's probably some of the most like consistent like big IP movies out there.
Yeah, Jeff Fowler. I think he really understood the assignment here with Sonic 3, and I can't wait to see what.
You can tell he gets it.
He gets it exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and they played some of my favorite theme songs in the third act. I was like, "Oh, they're playing the song!" It was so good.
I mean, all of these movies combined are miles better than Mario. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no competition.
Even the first one,
for sure. So yeah, in terms of video game adaptations, this is really up there in terms of theatrical.
Is it the best? Are they the best?
Theatrical.
Not counting the shows, because Last of Us is like obviously.
Yeah, Last of Us, Castlevania. There's a lot of good shit.
As far as movies, like I had fun with Uncharted, but I don't think it was good.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, Sonic is way better than Uncharted. That's a good point. The bar is up there now for Legend of Zelda, directed by Wes Ball.
Pikachu, Detective Pikachu.
I think Sonic's better.
Sonic's better, but it was fun. I did like that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, go watch Sonic 3, guys. If you're a fan of the genre, or just not a fan in general, you just like Sonic, whatever. You like hedgehogs. Go watch Sonic.
You like Keanu Reeves.
If you like Keanu Reeves, exactly. He's good. He's great in this movie.
He's just playing Keanu Reeves, but it's good.
There's a lot of shit in this movie.
Do we want to go from one family movie to another?
Mufasa?
Let's talk about my brother.
I only want to
brother.
To be honest, though,
it is.
Dude, people are making a lot of jokes like that part.
Much better than Moana 2.
That part of the song, it's weird. But the song in general is not bad.
The song, like in the movie, works better for sure.
Exactly. Once again, things in context make more sense than what social media.
What a concept!
Yeah, social media is really something. But I gave this movie like 3 stars. It's very solid.
Same.
It's but it's way better than like Moana 2. I don't know why I'm comparing.
Way better than 2019 Lion King.
But like
way better.
2019 Lion King was very bland. This one has a fresh story, which I'll give it that. Predictable but fresh. And a surprising factor that I did like was the romance between Nala and Mufasa. No, Nala. Mufasa.
Kiara?
Sarabi?
No.
Sarabi. Yes. Because right? Kiara is the daughter. Oh. Nala is Mufasa's wife. I think Sarabi is
Simba's wife.
Whatever.
Too many lions.
Too many lions. Simba and Nala. Kiara is the daughter. Mufasa and Sarabi. There we go. I liked that romance. They have a duet in the middle of this movie.
Challengers.
What?
Challengers.
A bit. They have a duet, like Mufasa and Sarabi, like when they're on the mountain.
Like,
in the
I still
snow.
think it's probably some of Lynn's worst work, but it's still Lin-Manuel Miranda. He still did what he does.
I liked it. I was like kind of into most of the songs.
The villain song, fucking trash though. Horrible.
Ooh, oh my God, Josh!
So
like,
bad.
Like
So
it's
bad.
Weird. I was
don't
laughing.
remember it.
I don't think I was supposed to laugh because he kept saying the words
Bye,
bye. I'm like, there's no way this went from script to screen. How did this happen? Like,
I had no idea that Matt Mikkelsen was the villain.
Dude,
Until I was
Me
like,
neither.
I was like, who? I thought it was Antonio Banderas. I had
Yeah.
no idea who that fucking was. I was like, who is this guy? Yeah, that was.
I didn't know that Keith David was Mufasa's dad. Apparently.
That was. Oh wow.
Yeah.
By the way, I watched Lion King 2 for New Year's Day. Still
Great
a
movie.
fantastic movie. Great movie. A lot of Lion King 2 was in this movie in terms of like the
Kiara, right?
Kiara, yeah. Also, Kiara doesn't have a brother in the Lion King canon, but I guess that's new. Whatever.
not the Lion King canon.
Come on,
I mean,
guys.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I still like these movies aren't great, but I would rather have them adapt Lion King 2 because it's a really good movie. But I don't know if they can now because they introduced a brother and now. And the idea of like Kiara having a romance with like
Stars.
with
son, right?
Kovu.
Wait, no.
Yeah, it's
Who was
Kovu.
it from? Star's
it is.
son, right?
Yeah, it is his son.
It's not his son.
We know.
It's one of the people that Scar like takes in off screen or whatever.
So basically,
So basically,
It looks like him, Evan.
yeah, I know. And just they gotta follow the canon.
wait, does Star die in the Lion King? I forget.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. One of the most
I haven't watched it in a
iconic
while.
dads in cinema.
Does Darth Vader die in but anyways, because I kind of wanted them to adapt Lion King 2. I don't know if they can.
I think they will. I think they will
But
still.
maybe they will.
All right, this is making money, right?
Because like, it's
it doing
making
good?
like
It's
upwards
like
of
almost 500.
Okay, yeah.
it's going to make upwards of like 600.
I mean,
700.
the ending of this movie is like such a huge backdoor pilot.
Oh yeah.
I love how they gave an origin story for Pride Rock and the Stick.
Oh god, dude,
That was weird.
that was so fucking funny.
That was
The
weird.
way
I
he just
was-
like boom,
boom. I'm like, also these
I
animals.
died.
These animals are garbage, dog. Like Mufasa is out here getting like clapped. Pause. Like Mufasa is out here like getting ganged up on by these 5 lions. He makes it to like this pride area, and all these animals are like running away. I'm like, yo, help him out.
You're not helping him at all. Yeah.
Help him out. And then at the end of the movie, they're like, wait a second, we can help him out. I'm like, are you idiots? It's like 20 of you with like 5 lions.
Not even 20, it's like hundreds of them.
Like, beat their ass.
It's so
Beat their
bad.
ass. Mufasa's over here single-handedly caring. He was
That-
caring.
That they're like it feels like somebody else entirely took over Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Also, like they pulled a solo and were over explaining how Star got his name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't really need that.
So bad.
Like, but like in general, like this movie, it looks a little bit better. The story's decent. The songs are decent. It just
The
didn't
Barry
have
Jenkins, like he comes through in moments, and that's what
Yes.
makes it stand out.
There's some. It's character moments. The visual language that you come for a lot of Barry
Oh, yeah.
Jenkins
The,
movies.
the
is
way
just-
the camera moves in this, I was shocked by. Really good.
Yeah. So Barry Jenkins tries his best. That's all we can say. He tries his best with a movie
Yeah.
that just the story just isn't up there because it's so generic and like
Yeah.
The script is
paint
pretty
by
bad.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I didn't hate the movie. I had a solid time watching
No,
this.
yeah,
I wouldn't
it's
watch it
very
again. But
generic.
yeah.
It's a fascination. It's a fascinating watch because you can tell Barry is there, but you can also see like
Him
him
get drowned out.
Yeah, struggling with the technology. It's very fascinating.
They're really hoarding him back.
Yeah.
He's like,
But
"Let
at
me
least
go."
this will fund the next 10 years of his career, and that's the best part of this.
Hopefully, one for them, one for me. So we'll see what he does next.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Kraven the Hunter, guys? Speaking of lions and hunters,
I didn't
live.
see it, but go for it.
It's
this
an
movie
HD,
rocks.
baby.
This movie's rocks. Okay.
Wait,
Not-
really? Okay.
I did tell Edgar though, I would rather watch this movie
No,
than like Madam
you're
Web.
wrong. You're
I'm not wrong. I'm
No,
not
you're
wrong.
wrong.
I'm
You're
not
wrong.
wrong.
Yes, you
I
are.
would rather watch this movie than Madam Web or
It's
Venom.
boring.
It's not. Yeah.
Okay. Let
Yeah,
me put it like this.
Okay.
There is
talk.
nothing in this movie that is more fucking hilarious than the I mean, there is still some bad ADR here, but not as bad as the one.
Madam Web is hilarious. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
and also the fact that this guy, the villain of Madam Web, his whole motivation is that he wants to kill these women because in the future he's in a vision that they're gonna kill him.
Maybe.
And the whole Britney Spears song of it all of these women just like dancing in this.
Oh my god!
Diner.
no.
It's great. It's an amazing movie.
That was Madam Web is just cringe. I hate using that.
I
word.
love
It's
that.
just-
Like, remember how the villain, like, everything he
you could have
cutting
to
out.
Josh.
funny.
You could have.
This
You're
the
so correct.
ADR of it all.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Oh,
His
am I good?
ADR. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. But yeah, his ADR was atrocious, and there's some bad ones here. For some reason, these Sony Marvel movies are just.
But like the
terrible
thing about
ADR.
Madam Web is that it looks really good.
Yeah, for some reason it
Does it?
looks.
Yeah.
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 in some spots, I guess. But yeah, Kraven, like there's some good shit in here if it wanted to be good. Like
there?
If it wanted to be good.
For example, like I'm walking out of the movie, I'm just picking it apart. Like there's this brotherly relationship with future chameleon. I forget his name.
Can we spoil this movie? You don't care, right, Josh?
Yeah, okay, yeah. But like him and his brother are sons of what's his name?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, who is very
Isn't this?
funny. Russell Crowe's the father in this. Yeah. And apparently, like, he has like the most mysterious criminal empire that you ever
Wait,
watch.
Christopher Abbott is in this too, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I did not know
Is
he
he
was
good?
No.
No. He's
Poor
like
guy.
one. He has
He's just
some
a weird little fucker.
He has
Get
like
that
some
bad.
weird speed feat. And quickly about him, he was so like OP, overpowered throughout this movie. I'm like, oh, how is Kraven going to defeat him? We get to the third act. Kraven takes the biggest L in the movie. Like, he nearly dies. Christopher Abbott's about to kill him, but then he gets saved by Ariana DeBose, who
Doesn't he just get shot or something?
he gets shot by an arrow because Ariana DeBose.
I've heard like there's a scene where like someone says to something to the character and the character just like screams randomly.
Oh, Rhino?
Rhino.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Rhino was a villain who was upset about Russell Crowe because he's also
Who plays Rhino?
a villain. No idea.
Is it a random guy? It's not Giamatti.
It's not Paul Giamatti. No, not at all.
Oh man.
I'll look it up.
I'm trying to look. I can't even find him on IMDb or Letterboxd.
Letterbox.
But yeah, okay. So the brotherly relationship is solid, but it's just so messy because the movie does like a flash forward where it's like, "Oh, I had to leave you, brother." It's like, did you really have to leave him? That was so stupid. He left him when he was like super young. He was like, "You need to stay. I need to go on my own." He just lives by himself for the whole time. He's also the worst hunter of all time. The movie wants me to say, or wants me to believe, that like he's hunted all these criminals. We see one at the very
Kraven?
beginning of this movie, Kraven, yes. Like he's supposed to be like this big hunter. He's hunting all these criminals.
I mean, it's in his name.
But then when it gets to like the main plot with the Rhino, he keeps asking Ariana DeBose, like, "Can he help me out here? Can you look up this person for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me?" And she's like giving him bad information because she also sucks. And I'm like, you guys are the worst hunters of all time. The movie ends in the third act by them being caught. They don't even find anybody. They just get caught in the act. I'm just like, this sucks. Like, Kraven, you're the worst hunter. And I couldn't even tell what the arc of this movie was. At the end of this movie, Chameleon's like, "You're just like our dad." I'm like, no, the fuck I'm not. Like, his dad's like this evil guy. And Kraven's like only been doing good shit this entire movie. He's only been killing bad guys. This entire movie.
I thought they were gonna do like an old school like switcheroo to reveal that the chameleon was the bad guy all along, that he's the one who orchestrated this shit, and at least would have been interesting, but they don't do anything with it.
The movie wants me to believe that Kraven's arc was like, oh, he's slowly becoming his father, but it's not there at all. Like 0%. Like he's
Like
been
with
good.
all these Sony movies where they want us to believe these villains are bad. But
Yeah, it's like at the end of the movie, they want you to believe like, oh, they're actually kind of like suspect or kind of bad. It's like, no, all your movies are actually just good characters now. So it's just really, the arcs are just not there. The performances are just not there. But like, it has some good action. There's a chase scene that was actually pretty interesting, pretty fun chase sequence. It's more interesting than anything I saw in Venom 3. So yeah, I mean, this movie's bad. I don't want to cut around the bushes with it, but like, it's bad. But I would rather watch it again than like a Madam Web or Venom 3.
I think I would still watch Venom 3 too over this, just because of
Wow.
the whole Reese Evans overall, the whole situation with the family.
He's
Come
not
on.
in it enough. He's not in it enough.
Uh,
Again, Kraven is just like, it's a boring action movie that you've seen 1,000 times. But a boring action movie is better than a messy dog shit bullshit kind of Madam Web shit. Anyways, Kraven the Hunter. It's the end of the Stony universe. There's not even a post credit sequence. They're
Really?
like, we're done with this shit. It just
we're done with this shit.
a very weird movie.
Is it actually the end?
For now.
Until they need to make a movie to keep the rights.
They need to make a bigger bomb. Okay, Mufasa, Queer, The Order, Sonic, Red One, Kraven, Y2K. Let's talk about Carry On. You all watch Carry On?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a very fun time with Carry On. Who is the director of this one? Was it my boy?
Jermaine Toilette Sarah.
Jermaine Sarah, the Jungle Ride
Finally
movie.
breaking away from the rock curse he was on.
Yeah,
The
what did
The Orphan, the first one.
I never watched The
Black
Orphan.
Adam, Jungle Cruise.
Oh, he did
Shallows.
Nonstop with the Liam Neeson.
Yeah, The Commuter. Which
I liked Nonstop. The Commuter wasn't awful. It wasn't great. Run All Night. He did Run All Night. I like Run All Night. That was fun. He did a lot of these bad, but like decent Liam Neeson movies. He did The Shallows. I like The Shallows. But yeah, Carry On. Speaking about cat and mouse with The Order, we see it again here with Taron Egerton versus my guy
Bateman.
Jason Bateman, who plays a very, very entertaining evil dude. He's just an evil fucker, and he's really good at it. It's very entertaining. Jason Bateman has Taron Egerton on the ropes for a lot of the movie. And usually when I'm watching a character like Taron Egerton being like bossed around constantly, it's not that fun, but Taron Egerton does play like the hero role who like slowly worms his way out of it and does some conniving stuff of his own a little bit towards the second half of the movie, which is very fun. It has a very good pacing to it. Taron Egerton does a very entertaining like run at the end of this movie, really embodying
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, this was a sweet, nice action movie. I had a fun time with this. What'd you guys think?
It was really fun. It's a shame this isn't in theaters.
Yeah, that
I
was
think I had a
Like,
the biggest takeaway.
It's a classic like Hitchcockian, like very clearly like premised movie. That really sells its premise really well.
Yeah.
I think the movie the movie itself does a really good job of maintaining that level of tension, but I think it elevates even more so when they introduce the other character who is also a hostage of Jason Bateman. That entire chase, like where the whole luggage department is really good.
I love a good luggage chase. It reminded me of Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2, yeah.
that area of the airport always gets some crazy shit. We also saw it in Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, I can see how maybe some people might think that the climax or the resolution is a bit underwhelming, but it worked for me.
It does turn into like a goofiness factor that wasn't there. Like the first 3/4 of the movie is not as goofy, but like the car chase, not chase, but like the car action scene. That's all.
A cool little digital oneer.
Yeah, really cool digital oneer. Kind of goofy. Like there's no way she survived that, but okay.
I also didn't know Daniel Deadweiler was in this, and she's great.
Me neither. I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. She got more recognition here than in Piano Lesson.
Did you guys watch Piano Lesson?
Nah.
I did.
I watched the first half of it. I need to get back to it.
Josh motherfucker never finishes his food.
Hey, I gotta follow the vibe, you know? What's the vibe with that one?
Nice. Between that and Maria, I'm just like, I can't just sit down and watch this kind of movies.
Maria's so much better.
Piano Lesson does have a good scene. That's
a good
scene. John David Washington's good in it. She's good. And there's a good musical number, I guess.
Is it very like play-like, like a play.
Yeah,
It's very
very
like
much.
Otis Wilson, like what you expect.
But yeah, again, this movie is very engaging with like the back and forth dynamic. Like it's never boring. You see Jason Bateman like constantly with these dark, sinister vibe to it, and he kind of backs it up in a lot of surprising, sinister ways. Taron Egerton kind of really grows throughout the movie in terms of like his overall. I mean, they try to make you feel something in terms of like his, how do I phrase it, like assertiveness with his career, which is kind of like okay, it's something. But I was more compelled by like his heroic actions towards like the back half of this
I will
movie.
say like some of the twists kind of got me.
Yeah.
Which one?
Really fun.
I don't want to spoil the movie.
Yeah.
It came out like fucking 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's already like one of the most watched Netflix movies according to Netflix, which is
everything's the most watched Netflix movie. So is that one Zack Snyder movie apparently. I don't know.
Oh, Rebel Moon.
I never watched Rebel Moon Part 2. I watched Part 1.
I didn't watch any of them.
Yeah, me neither.
I think this is why Zack Snyder can't get a job, guys. You guys failing him.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Whatever happened to that anime? The one zombie anime that he was
Main's
doing?
coming this year, right? The Twilight of the Gods or whatever.
That already came out.
Oh really? He has some like mythological mythological there, yeah. He has that like animated thing coming, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think so. Like the King Arthur thing that he said he
I
wanted
forgot
to
what
do.
it's called, yeah.
But yeah, again, it has some convenient moments, some goofy moments, but overall, I can't not recommend this to people. I did recommend it to my dad, and he hated it. He was like, "You owe me 2 hours."
Really? It's like
I
a
was like,
Pete
really?
Dad movie.
I thought so too. I thought he'd like it. He said Taron Egerton was just such a weak character. I was like, I disagree.
I mean, he's not wrong.
he's weak, but like
There's not much to that character, but he sells it.
no weak as in like
That in
whiny kind of character.
What was he
I mean,
supposed to do in that
sure.
situation?
My dad doesn't really care about like character depth. But like I'm with you. Like, I'm like he can't do a lot in the first act of this movie because Jason Bateman has him on the ropes, and it's like, what really engaged me was like, what would I do in that situation? Like, it's one of those movies where it's
I
like,
would not like be this heroic guy.
I wouldn't do half the shit that Taron Egerton. I'd be like,
Running onto the bottom of the airplane.
put that on the plane. Shit, it ain't me. But okay, but like yeah, it's like granted, I'm not a TSA agent, so I'm not abiding by those kind of like you know.
It was like because I had a flight like a couple weeks after I saw this. It was weird going through TSA after the same this.
Apparently, a lot of people like in TSA like this movie.
Good TSA representation.
We need more of that these days. They do a lot of hard shit. Let's talk about Juror number 2. I finally, you watched it. Finally saw it. Yeah, it came out on HBO Max. Good old Max.
Speaking of dad movies,
I watched it with my mom actually, not my dad. But my mom and brother, we really liked this. This was a surprisingly fun time. It's not the
Edgar's like top 10, right?
That's nuts. You guys blame me for Sonic, and you got Juror number 2 in your top 10.
I mean,
Come
we're
on!
adults here, Evan. We're adults here.
Wow,
I understand more.
Okay. But Juror number 2 was a solid, fun time. I was surprised by how engaged I was. Speaking of how, like, what would you do in that situation for Taron Egerton? This is one of those movies where you can instantly put yourself in, like, what would you do if you did some bad shit, and then you're
bad shit, killing a person, maybe bad shit.
I mean, one of my favorite things about this movie was like watch it be at the end of this movie where it's like he actually didn't do it or whatever. But
I like that they didn't do that
because like they didn't explicitly say like boom.
Because it was an accident.
But like, I mean,
he still killed the person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a spoiler if you're watching this, but the premise of this movie is that, and it's in all the trailers and everything, it's revealed in the first 5 minutes. Nicholas Holt's character presumably killed some person walking down the road at night when it's raining. And then a year later, she's on the jury for her boyfriend who was on trial for killing said woman.
One of the coolest concepts of the year, I think.
Yeah, it's simple, but very cool because it's like, oh shit, instantly, what would you do if you're in Nicholas Holt's situation? And the whole movie ponders that ideal through a variety of different characters and perspectives.
Yeah, the whole exploration of the morality is really fascinating. That's what really got me into the movie because
especially the ending too.
Yeah, because like you see this guy try to do the right thing from the very beginning. He's not like tries to go on this like rabbit hole of like doing bad shit. Like no, he actually does try to come forward, but like everybody around him is telling him, don't do that.
I didn't catch the first 5 minutes. Do we see the thing happen first before the court?
No.
He finds that we see it when he finds out the court.
Yeah, he slowly starts realizing that, like going back. And,
then they go back. They cut back in time.
Yeah.
So it starts with the court scene.
No, it starts. I think he's home with Zoe
Deutsch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget how it starts too. Yeah, I don't think you miss much. But yeah, like you're kind of right, Edgar. He does try to. I don't think he's constantly like I'm gonna turn myself in though. Like a lot of this movie though, he's also like I don't want to get.
He's very selfish, but like, wouldn't we be selfish also? That's the interesting thing about it.
Yeah, right, Josh. Because he's selfish. He doesn't want to get caught, but he also does want to like. He didn't
do as most good as he can.
As much because he knows he has the knowledge that like this guy didn't do it. The rest of the jury, having seen the evidence or the evidence that they only can see, and the very short, fast-paced court scene, very interesting play by Clint Eastwood to have the beginning of the movie be the court scene that's setting up this movie. Like the movie it's not really a courtroom drama because a lot of the courtroom scene gets developed and finished up with early in the movie. Now it's up to the jurors to decide what happens next. And Chris Messina, for all he's trying to do, like, oh, I know my guy is innocent. You did a terrible job defending your guy. And granted, he's supposed to be like, well, there's a burden of he didn't do it. It's very similar to Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal, where the goal is to say he didn't do it. However, that defense can only go so far where it's like, okay, you can put up as much evidence for he didn't do it as you want. The jury, society, the public need to know then who did. And if you can't answer that question, they're just going to revert back to the only other easy answer. Yeah. So it's very interesting for Nicholas Holt's whole difficult decision that this whole movie is like, okay, I want to defend him by saying he didn't do it, but they're all asking me who did, and he's like, I don't know. Like, and it's very interesting seeing Toni Collette's perspective and what she's trying to do from her own selfish gain as well. A lot of selfish desires throughout this picture here. We do see also my boy. He played Santa Claus.
That's what we think of?
Yes,
with J.K. Simmons? Really?
Yes. It was fantastic as Saint Nick. No, I'm kidding. He slept the entire movie of Red One. Literally, he slept. He's great here as like the shining beacon of light. Trying to like do right here. J.K. Simmons is just so good. He's so good. So yeah, a great cast all around.
J.K. Simmons, Santa Claus in Red One.
Yes.
That for his next movie, winning role.
Fresh in your mind.
Yes, for his next movie, you should be like from the dude that slept as Santa Claus.
Slept.
Anyways, and I enjoyed the ending.
You did like really jacked for this movie too.
For which one?
For Juror number 2, yes.
For Red One.
The Red One, yeah.
He did, yeah. For no reason, it was like 2 minutes.
Same with Justice League.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, people thought he was getting ripped for Justice League. I'm like,
he was, but he was barely in the movie.
He was barely in the movie, and he was covered in a trench coat. I'm like, what's going on here? People are like, oh, my Gordon's ripped. He's gonna do some shit. Like, no, he's not. He's Gordon. Does Gordon ever do shit?
Yeah.
Sorry for the Gordon.
Jeffrey Wright.
But
Gary
Jeffrey
Oldman?
Wright's not in there like beating up criminals. Like you don't got to get ripped for gore.
Does he punch a guy?
Maybe. I don't know.
The most Jim Norton does, punching a guy.
Yeah. I am watching some Telltale Batman Let's Plays online.
I played the first episode of that. It was pretty good.
I need to play it myself because I'm watching it. I'm like, what would I do? So, I mean, now
It's
I
your
know the
number 2
story.
moment.
Yes, exactly. So I would recommend it's on.
Man, remember
Max.
Telltale games? Oh, what a time!
What a time. It's on Max. I would recommend Juror number 2. I also watched Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim.
I think I like this movie better than you do, but it's still just okay.
Lord of the Rings.
Another one I haven't seen.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm with you, Edgar. I people are calling this like the worst movie in the Lord of the Rings filmography.
I mean, I'm sure it is.
I disagree.
the Hobbit trilogy?
Hobbit trilogy.
They're good. Is that the last one?
No,
There you go.
People are crazy with this whole like revert whatever.
It's
people
not.
call
It is not revisionist. I stand by those first two
They're
movies,
not
and I
good
always
movies.
have. They
They're
are
so
great.
Boring. They're so.
Dance for the Journey is
boring.
good. That's what this mod is a fucking banger.
In what
Fuck
way?
you.
The characters
It's
stink in those
fun.
movies.
Then Cumberbatch is smelled fucking great.
He's great. The character work in those movies are just not my.
I
thing.
remember I did watch it when I was like 13, but I loved it.
I watched all those movies in theaters.
I did
Couldn't
too.
tell you what happened.
They're great. I
It's-
don't remember anything from the third one though.
It's a lot of battles. A lot.
Yeah, it's the worst one of the three.
Was it 5 battles?
Maybe
5 armies.
5 armies.
I still don't understand what the 5 armies are because I count them and I only count up to 4. Who's the 5th?
Smog is his own army.
How do you spell Rohirrim?
Rohirrim.
Thank you.
I had a fun time with this movie. I think I was more engaged with this than others. I mean, really not Edgar, but like, I think the
Oh, you
what did I
nailed
say
it.
here?
That was always what. Okay.
The animation, because I'm watching it right here. The animation and voice acting are really, really good. I really like
solid.
the voice acting, especially my boy Brian
Brian
Cox. He's like the best. He's kind of like the scene stealer as Helm Hammerhead.
He's in this.
Yeah,
There's a moment with him by the doors of Helm's Deep that it's so fucking cool. Some of the best
So
visuals
really
in
cool.
2024.
I agree, man. I agree. I think he goes off in the second half of this movie.
Edgar, are you getting that 4K?
Maybe.
For
Let
this?
me borrow it if you do.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think I'm gonna buy it, but I want to watch it.
Because like the pacing is not the best.
No, it's not.
And I
Like-
think, yeah, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, I think it's really good, but I feel like because like they made this movie just to retain the rights to Lord of the Rings. It feels very rushed. Just to meet.
So that is what happened. That's not something that they said.
I mean, it's basically what
Well,
happened. I mean,
it's what happened and it's what they said.
yeah, what they said. Yeah.
I remember people like when they said that a lot of people got angry because it's like disrespectful.
It
Which
is disrespectful. But
Well,
they
if
said
it's
it.
the truth, then yeah.
Like it's the truth, but it's like
At least you're being
Just-
honest.
I bet this happens for a lot of times with a lot of IP. Like, yeah, things get made so they contain the rights.
I mean, just look at Sony with Spider-Man.
yeah,
Good Kraven, yeah.
It doesn't mean that they have to make bad movies. It doesn't mean that they signed up to make a bad movie. Only, yeah, they made bad movies. Like for this one, I feel like they had the best of intentions with making a good movie. They got a really good anime director in
Yeah.
there.
It's the director of Night's Jedi, right?
Let me see here. He did a lot of stuff that I liked. I'm trying to look for one movie that I liked. He did one of the Ghost in the Shell movies. If anybody was interested in those sequels.
He was one of the Blade Runner anime.
Oh yeah, he did Black Lotus. Yes.
Is that good?
It was like a series. I don't know why they have it as like a film. It says 286 minutes. Yeah, because it's a TV series.
Because they do miniseries on Writerbots.
Ah, got it.
Is that good though?
I liked it as a huge Blade Runner fan.
Okay.
Some people said it was
It's like a
boring.
prequel to 2049, right?
Yeah, it's like why is like LA like shut
Okay.
down because of the Black Lotus?
Why is LA shitty? It's LA.
Fair.
No, but I was gonna say, there like besides all the drama behind the scenes, I think the movie itself is pretty good, but you can't tell that there's a great movie buried under all of this.
1000%. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, Oh, there's some good shit in here. If you just
Is it because it's rushed?
Yeah,
it's weird because it's a decently long movie. It's like what?
How long is it?
134 minutes, so 2 hours 14
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
And
It's long for an animated movie.
yeah. It's just the pacing and the things that they decide to focus on.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie.
Some of the things they focus on just aren't relevant. I think the biggest weakness of this movie, and having watched I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, but I do love Rings of Power, and I like the trilogy. But I need to rewatch the trilogy. I will say the biggest unfortunate weakness is the character work in this movie, which for Lord of the Rings as like a franchise, the character work is like the most important part of this franchise, or for any movie really, but for this franchise where there's so many cool things happening, but the character work just isn't there to elevate it. I think what's her name? Hera is a solid lead, but her relationship to her family isn't as compelling as I wanted it to be, especially when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, but her brothers is like
Edgar. Yes, Edgar's like, I want to know. They had some good dialogue exchanges when they were together, but I wanted to see more sibling relationship there.
Yeah, and it's there because in the writing, because it has like that classic like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones like sincerity of like you can tell that these people love each other, but there's not enough of it.
I can tell that. You're telling me they are. You're telling me they love each other, but I need to feel it and I need to see it.
He did do the Ninth Jedi, right? The Visions episode.
I don't think so.
Look it up, just
you tell me. But yeah. I just got a school email. Sorry, but the biggest thing for me, and when I watched the trailers, I was like, oh, we could get some enemies. Okay. We could get some enemies to lovers situation here. That's not what happened in this movie, but there is a romantic-ish relationship at the beginning of this movie with the character of Wolf, who's the villain, and Hera, who's the lead. I was like, oh, are we gonna get some like friends to enemies? Maybe not enemies to lovers, but like some friends to enemies here. We can get some interesting trope discussions here. And Wolf as a character was a character when I watched the trailer. I was like, okay, we could get some interesting things here. But he's probably my least favorite part of this movie. And he's in it a lot. And he's the main antagonist. He's very one note. Hera's like, okay, when we were young, it used to be cool. We used to be friends. And they flash back once. And I'm like, okay, now you're cooking. But they don't flash back again. I think it needed more flashback. It needed more sentimentality between Hera and the Wolf character, so I could really understand their disagreement, why they're so against each other now, and why he's so different. Something happens at the beginning of this movie, which was arguably pretty funny, actually. It's in the trailer, but like something tragic happens to Wolf, and he was like, "You'll rue the day." And he comes back, and I'm like, okay, do something with that. Let me see Wolf's journey. But then he just comes back, and he's just bad. The rest of the movie, he's just bad. And he gets progressively crueler. And Hera's like, you weren't like this, Wolf. Why are you doing this?
It feels like
he was like this.
It feels like all of his character development is happening off screen.
Off screen. It happened off screen. Like I want to see, and this is where we go. This is where me and Edgar were saying, like, I want to go into Wolf's journey. I want to go into the relationship between Hera and Wolf. I want to go into the family stuff. But the movie's already 2 hours and 14 minutes. It doesn't need to be 2.5 hours, but some of the pacing in the middle when they transition from a battle, which is very well done, to a siege. That siege is like the last hour and 10 minutes of this movie. It's a very long siege. And I know they want to like elevate the impact of this siege because of the lord of this place, of Harrenhal. But I think they could have like cut a few of the scenes during that siege sequence to really elevate some of the characters. I think the character work really disappointed me.
I didn't know Eowyn is in this.
Who?
She's the narrator, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really wanted more from the character work in this movie. I can understand the criticism when people say they were bored watching this, but for me, I was locked in. I was really engaged. I wanted to be more engaged. I wanted to be more entertained. Because this
is the animation good?
Really good, really good. We need more 2D anime aesthetic films out there, which is why I was really rooting for this film to do well box office wise, so we can get more tales like this. It bombed pretty drastically.
Barely made like 10 million opening.
If overall, I think it barely made 10 million overall, and it cost like 30 million. So, you know, I'm actually.
How the fuck does a movie like this cost 3 times as much as The Brutalist?
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't get it.
That's for any film. Brutalist costing 10 million.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's like I really want more anime films from big IPs in general. Like I want more Game of Thrones anime. The Witcher did an anime,
which we're getting.
Witcher did an anime on Netflix. I still really like.
It's probably the best thing of that show.
Really is.
To be honest.
And I think more. And Star Wars is already doing it with Visions, but just more IP need to be developing more anime or at least animation projects.
I'm a little disappointed that season 3 Visions is only Japanese studios again.
I'm happy about it. I think.
The first season was good, but like I liked season 2 a lot more because there are so many different styles.
Variety, yeah.
Fair enough.
But Aousam, oh my god, that was incredible.
That was good. But I'm telling you, a lot of the anime studios that they got this time around are very, 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 very highly regarded. And they do look very different. I'll tell you that. So I think we're still gonna get some visual disparity between them.
All right. So I have like 3 or 4 more big releases. I don't know how about you.
Trying to see here. Let me see. I'm gonna skip over the Christmas stuff I rewatched. That's unrelated. Yeah. Let's hit the good stuff now.
I do have, speaking of Christmas, I do have one new release that's Christmas themed that I want to talk about.
Oh.
Christmas Eve in Miller's Point.
The fuck is this?
It's a small little indie movie that premiered at TIFF maybe or one of the festivals.
Of course.
But I saw it like on a lot of people's list, and I checked it out, and it's like one of the better modern Christmas movies I've seen recently. It is very weird. It is very like indie. I think it just captures the feeling of like the bittersweet warmth and like the awkwardness of the holidays that I think movies like Christmas movies don't really show. It's like cozy, but it's also uneasy. It's like an ensemble movie that doesn't really have a straightforward plot. It's just very, very vibes based, and I think I like those movies a lot personally. I know Evan, you're not the biggest fan of like vibes movies.
No,
but I think what's incredible, it has some really interesting imagery, and it was just a huge surprise for me for something that I didn't really know about a couple months ago.
Okay.
Francesca Scorsese is in this.
Really?
Yeah. Michael Cera is in this, and he's good.
I haven't seen it.
But it's a lot of other unknowns. It's like a really good family like dynamic.
And where's this at again?
It's on VOD.
You should talk about a movie that you recommended me that I didn't love as much as you did, but you should talk about it.
Oh, we'll get there.
Why not right now?
Right now? Okay, give me a second.
We don't have much left.
Really? We did a lot of catch up. We guys talked about.
But we can talk about a lot of the ones for the.
I mean, for me, I just have the one that I'm alluding to. Then Babygirl, Nosferatu, Interstellar, and that's about it.
Okay. Yeah. I'll talk about Nightbitch real quick because I was the only one that saw that. I mean, you guys saw that as well, but I saw that recently. I like Nightbitch. Entertaining, fun. I wanted to like it more. Some of the comedy was like hit and miss, but it really drives you over the head. Not in a bad way, but like in a very entertaining, crazy way, with the whole motherhood angle, the whole annoyance that she was having with her husband was very funny. There was one scene where it's like, can you get the towels? Can you do this? Can you do that? And she finally goes to get it. And he's just like taking the shit in the toilet. And I was like,
it's very upset. Like exaggerated, but it works for this movie.
It's exaggerated, but like I was getting like in her mind space. I was very much like, oh man, I'm so pissed at this guy. But I'm also, I like what they did at the end of the movie where they actually like talked about it and discussed like the differences and the struggles. Like like you said, it's very exaggerated with her struggles and very funny with her struggles, but still very relevant, still very meaningful, still very heartfelt at the very end. Like it had a good mix all around to it. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but it was a really fine,
Really solid.
really solid movie. I had a solid time with it.
Yeah.
It's a damn solid movie. But yeah, let's talk about some interesting shit. Let's talk about Babygirl here.
Josh, have you seen this or not?
Not yet.
Oh wow.
This guy.
Okay.
No spoilers, please.
At the end of the movie, they kill each other. No, not that kind of movie. Interesting movie. Edgar, am I alone in thinking like it wasn't as spicy as I thought it would be?
Really? What the fuck did you expect that you were gonna see?
I wanted to see them pouting. No, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, and granted, you hear a lot of people talk about like how this was so raunchy and spicy. It's like I've seen people masturbate.
I feel like that's most movies these days. That
yeah,
hyped up and.
But also, it has to do with the fact that, for better or worse, arguably worse, cinema recently is just very sexless.
Very sexless. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was sexually charged. That's without a doubt. Like from the very beginning of this movie, you know exactly what you're in for.
Was it more or less horny than Nosferatu?
More
horny, but not as. It's less interestingly horny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nosferatu is like my shit. We'll get to it.
Babygirl still made my top 20 though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I think it's in my top 30. Not sure.
I just think the performances are really like they really sell this.
100%. I think this is one of Nicole Kidman's and Henry Dickinson's most committed. Like they're so committed to this sexual desire, the essence of like a lust.
Like the first encounter that they have their first encounter together. It's very like I feel like a lot of people use this word to describe like performances, but it's very fearless, especially from Nicole's perspective. For me, like for me, like the only thing, and again, without diving into spoilers, my biggest gripe with the movie is that I feel like the core conflict that arises between, you know, Nicole trying to hook up with this guy and trying to balance her family life
doesn't get resolved.
It happens very sudden. It kind of I didn't really feel the impact of that. But other than that,
are you talking about like the impact of the conclusion or the impact of like?
I just thought the resolution was a bit way too easy.
Yeah, that's very fair. I don't want to go. I don't want to go into spoilers, but like something happened, then that's just like the end. I'm like, okay. But overall, I think the power dynamics, the way they discuss, and it's very messy, but not in a bad way. It's just a very messy movie in terms of like what they want out of this power dynamic. And I think what they make a good point on a character level is Henry Dickinson's character really, he's not like, I want all the power in the world. Like, without spoilers, just like the words don't match the actions for both of these characters at times. You're muted, Josh.
If you guys want to spoil it, I could drop out for a second.
No, you're fine. Okay. This movie just came out, so I want people to see it. So, and again, it's just messy power dynamics, but the overall very committed performances, and it's very entertaining because you're like, oh shit, like why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Like, is somebody catching on? And it's like, oh really? They're really getting down there like that. So it was very fun to watch.
Yeah, really well directed, and Cristobal Tapia de Beer's score is probably one of my favorite. It's a really cool score. Like how they
did the White Lotus score too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow. I can see that.
The way that he like meshes, like, you know, like your typical like orchestral music with like this like sexual orgasmic sounds is really freaking cool.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. I'm remembering the score now. It's like the way they imbue like the breathing, the sexual like, breathing within the score. It's like, but it's like it reminded me of I don't know what show it was, but I guess White Lotus.
White Lotus, yeah, kind of.
I guess it is White Lotus, yeah. In terms of like the like breathing, the essence of like sexual tension. White Lotus isn't like a super sexual show, but like,
God, I hope season 3 is as good as season 2.
It has Carrie Coon, guys. I'm telling you, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Lon Dawkins,
Walter Goggins, yeah,
it'll be great.
Because like that's like one of the biggest examples of a show like a drastic jump from season 1 to 2 for me.
Yeah, I was like, White Lotus season 1. How is it getting all these awards?
Pretty
It's
bad.
Fine. It's
Yeah.
pretty fine. The
And
ending
2
is
great.
The ending is actually kind of interesting. But
I disagree. I'd hated the ending for season 1.
It was messy, but I was like, okay, they finally do something crazy with it. Season 2 was just consistently excellent every single episode, and had better meaning. Because I ended season 1, I'm like, what was the point?
And the cast was like pretty perfect
for season 2, yeah. And the cast has been great overall for all the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, Babygirl, great time, and same director of Bodies. Definitely feel that like sharp pacing, sharp tension between the characters. That she knows.
Is this one better than Bodies?
I think I like Bodies a bit more.
No, okay.
I think I liked it a bit more. That's more my shit.
I love Bodies. That was really fun.
Okay, you might like this more. I think it's around the same level.
Okay.
But okay, let's get to one of my favorite fucking movies of the year. My number 4 movie of the year. 4 or 3? Let me see.
4, 3.
4, right behind the Nora. Nosferatu. This movie was my shit. This movie is excellent. This movie is a masterpiece in horror. I absolutely loved this.
Favorite Robert Eggers?
Favorite Robert Eggers movie, and it might be hindsight.
Over the Witch.
I love The Witch. Y'all know me. I love The Witch. I've seen it countless times. This movie, and I know it might be recency bias, but like this movie had me more engaged on my first viewing than The Witch did on my first viewing. I think I didn't love The Witch until I rewatched it. Then I'm like, oh wait, this movie actually is pretty damn good. But Nosferatu had me more locked in than I did for The Witch, and it's definitely over like The Lighthouse and The Northman for me.
Northman's my favorite Eggers. Love that movie.
Really? That's surprising.
That's my 2.
Mm-hmm.
I go Nosferatu, Witch, Northman, Lighthouse.
I mean, it's been over a year since I saw it, but I need to rewatch Nosferatu.
Well, you haven't seen it in theaters, Josh?
Well, that was in a theater too, but
I mean, actual movie?
Not since release. No.
Wow, Edgar, did you go back and watch it?
Yeah, I did see it.
Okay, I'm about to say.
I'm hopefully gonna do it.
What'd you do this Christmas, Josh? Jesus.
I was in Idaho.
Oh, I forgot.
Duncan, Idaho.
I've never been to Idaho. That's one of the states I haven't been to.
Very flat. Very desperate.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, what's there to do in Idaho? Not a lot, right?
See family.
Yeah. But yeah, I got no family in Idaho. But Nosferatu, they're not in Idaho.
What a surprise!
This movie is just, oh man, Lily Rose Depp. I take back everything I said.
Good.
When she got casted, I was like, ugh. We could have had Anya Taylor-Joy. What happened? What's going on here? No, she's.
I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I don't think she could have done that.
I can't see her doing this, which is, hindsight 2020, because she obviously isn't in this movie. Maybe she would have killed it. But I think Lily just
very much glad we got her and Furiosa than this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Lily in this movie, man. Wow, from the first minute.
Didn't know she had that in her.
Not at all. I mean, I think this
got that dog in her.
I think this is the first role that I've seen her in.
I watched the first couple of episodes of The Idol, and like she's fine in that. But
I didn't even watch that.
Nothing special.
I don't know what else she's been in.
She's easily the best part of that show. That dog trash piece of fucking shit.
I didn't see Voyagers. Yeah, I didn't see anything that's on her. She was in The King.
She was in. I think I've seen her.
She was the wife, like the girl that he marries at the end.
Maybe that's why I don't remember.
What movie?
The King, Timothy.
I didn't see that.
His award-winning performance.
I always remember her. I didn't see it, but I always remember her from that Kevin Smith movie.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Really? Oh, I haven't watched any Kevin Smith movie.
Yoda Hosers. I haven't seen it, but I remember the poster. Oh, Silent Night was like the small movie that she was decent in.
Was she one of the leads in Yoga Hosers?
Yeah,
she was the lead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I need to watched any Kevin Smith movie. I haven't seen
I
any.
haven't seen any Kevin Smith movies.
Me neither. I don't know if it's my type of movie or
Yeah.
filmography. But Nosferatu, guys, it's exactly what I want from horror, where it's very dark, ominous, like it's drenched in such good, like eerie tension, and which is the case for a lot of Eggers movies, at least like The Witch. I think it's one of the most beautiful, gorgeous, darkly lit movies that you can tell what's going on. He films darkness so well. He imbues the essence of darkness so well throughout each of the characters, throughout the images. The visual imagery is so appealing.
I love how he makes it look almost like black and white while still utilizing color. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. It just, it's a really deliciously gothic vibe. The architecture, the production design is so good. The castle is so good. One of my favorite scenes of the year is Nicholas's what's his name? William? I don't know. Thomas. His first arrival to Transylvania, to Nosferatu's castle. So good every step of the way. It's like the shots that people are talking about from the trailers where he gets out of the carriage. That crossroads is such a great shot. And oh my gosh, Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok. Yes. So fucking
The
good.
voice.
So fucking good. That voice, I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this man?
When people say like transformative performances to fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, like, and there's this. Like, this is an actual transformative performance.
This is one of the most. This is the definition of a transformative performance. His voice is octave, completely different from anything you've heard.
I kind of wish they didn't reveal that they had cast him, and you could just see it in the credits.
That would be the craziest casting decision or news decision ever. Just like, who's playing Count Orlok? You'll never know until you see the movie. It would have been spoiled by like the news reporters, anyways. But yeah, like his first meeting with Thomas is so good. It's perfect. Where it's so supernatural, where a lot of things are happening, like a lot of supernatural things are happening. He's having this conversation, but like, and then he would like move forward a little bit or move backwards a little bit. Like the essence of space and time was very
kind of like a dream.
Yeah. It's like a very dreamlike state during the whole first meeting. I was just so, again, locked in during that entire meeting. So cool.
William Dafoe always bringing it.
Willem Dafoe is great. He is so excellent in this movie. And on a character level, this movie has a lot of interesting character depth with what Lily's going through. And it's really Willem Dafoe's character that really appeals to her and understands the assignment. He's like, I think she knows the best way to deal with this situation. He's one of those like true believers, but also was very eccentric and very helpful as well. It's just, he's so good. And I don't know why people are talking about Aaron Taylor Johnson on social media. I mean, that's Twitter for you.
I was about to ask you about that. Yeah,
he's great in this movie. I think he's really, really good in this movie.
I do think that his performance does kind of feel like very different from the rest, but I mean that's kind of the point, because he's like on another level, not just financially from like Thomas and Ellen, but also like he's just like so separated. Like he lives in like this little bubble of himself.
I was about to say that he represents this part of society, the rich society. I think this movie isn't about like classism. It isn't like Bong Joon-ho over here, but like you do see like there's a lot of times people just casually strolling throughout town filled with rats and decay and death, and people are suffering. And
I remember Emma Corrin being really good.
Yeah, that's his wife. And she's really good. And like she also lives in this like bubble society, but unlike Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, she really appeals to Lily's discomfort and
she's
really
more sympathetic.
She's really sympathetic. And while you can tell Aaron Taylor Johnson cares about what's going on, he really only cares about his close-knit family. He only really cares about Emma and his children. And he's not really sympathetic to the supernatural vibes of it all. He's not really recognizing it or willing to recognize it as much as others. I mean, a lot of people are slow to recognize it in general because it's hard to believe like a vampire or some kind of crazy entity is really impacting these people to such a crazy degree. It's kind of hard to latch onto that ideal. But again, Eggers does a phenomenal job slowly imbuing darkness throughout all of these characters and how they deal with it in a variety of different ways. How Eric Taylor Johnson deals with it in a very sad and shocking way, to how Lily, the heart of the movie, is dealing with it in her own like this notion of sexual desire that's imbued within her and Orlok. Was a very lonely, dark figure.
Yeah, I do want to give Eggers credit, because even though he was asked like, would you ever do a comedy? He's like, fuck no, why would I do that? This movie is really funny.
The movie has some very funny moments, especially with my boy
Ralph Innocent too.
Ralph Innocent is kind of like the essence of comedy, given that he's kind of the straight man. He was like, why would you do that? This guy's eating a rat. He's like, why would you do that? Like, what are you doing? It's very dry comedy, kind of like the Jason Bateman guy. He's like the straight man in this dark comedic moments. And again, I just want to give full props to Nicholas Hoult. Some of the comedy is that like no spoilers, but like early in the movie, they're like, what happened to my husband? What's going on here? I really miss my husband. Cut to Nicholas Holt's like fighting for his life over here. Like
he's like that really... meme of SpongeBob on the house that they really fucked that house.
Yeah. Like he's going through it. Like it was so chilling. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This guy is like, I was so like, oh my God, how is he still alive? Oh my gosh, what is happening? It's imbued in like Nicholas Holt's face. Like he's so like drenched in like sweat and fear, and like he was that essence of terror was all throughout the first act of the movie. It was so well done.
I will say, and Josh, I kind of already talked about this with you, and if anybody who's watched went to his test screen of this movie, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I remember of seeing that one of the first cuts of the movie, one of the reasons why I thought the pacing was a little bit off is, if I remember correctly, there was more like intercutting back and forth between what was happening to Thomas and Ellen.
And stuff, yeah.
Even more?
Yeah, like we would go to the castle and then we would cut to a scene with her having like an exorcism.
There's a lot more coverage.
Yeah, like it's like kind of like cutting back and forth. And now in this final cut of the movie, it's mainly focused on Thomas first, and then we move to Ellen.
That's good to hear. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't feel like there was some cuts back and forth, because like I said, she was
because I think
what's going on with him?
Main thing to remember is like the second act really like
dragged
it. Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah, I think it increases in the second act, because there's a lot of like, I think the score is really well done. Like the score helps elevate the second act, where I don't want to spoil it, but like shit hits the fan, like, and the way like these people try to play the hero, but it's like the movie is slowly filled with so much darkness that like these heroic actions aren't what you would expect.
Yeah. But I think that's what's great about the new cut is that, or the final cut, is that I feel like by having that back and forth, it made both storylines feel repetitive. And now that you have like, it's almost like, it feels like one chapter and then you move to the other chapter, like it hits harder for you.
Was the thing we see, was that the director's cut that's going around?
I don't know.
I don't remember it being 3 hours.
I don't think it was 3 hours. No.
I'm excited to see what he goes into for a long.
What's the runtime for the final cut?
1:33, so 2 hours 10 minutes, 13 minutes.
Really?
13.
Because I remember it was at least 2.5 hours when we saw.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't wait to see a longer version. I can't wait to see more.
I know it was longer for sure. It felt pretty long,
but I'm just so happy because a lot of directors really fail the Lily character. I think in the wrong hands, Lily's character arc would have been messy and floundered. But he really, because he kind of told the line. She's like sexually desiring against her will, with her will, this vampire creature who's also lonely and also desires her. And she has to play that line there, which is very romantically charged, but also repressively charged. It's very repressive, romantic, dark, creepy, invasive but not invasive, because I don't want to spoil it, but the third act is so good for her character, and what she does. I was so compelled by her arc, and again, in the wrong hands, this could have been very like, oh, what are you trying to convey here? But I think Eggers does a great job conveying it with what the times were in this mythological.
Have you
tale.
Have you seen Coppola's Dracula, Evan?
I haven't. Yeah, we talked about this. I haven't seen his.
That would be like one of your favorite movies ever.
Yeah, I need to watch.
I love this. Like that movie just takes what this does and like ramps it up even more.
I've seen some of the visuals. Yeah, I love vampire mythology and animation and storytelling. It's so up my alley. I love it so much. Having said that, Castlevania season 2 comes back next week. Watch that, everybody. But yeah, this movie is just so for me in terms of like the vampire Lily dynamic. I loved it so much. The tagline, "Succumb to darkness," and that she does in such an interesting way,
and in several ways.
Yeah, it was so good. I cannot wait to rewatch this movie. I don't think I have time to, but when this comes out on Blu-ray 4K, I'm getting it day one.
It's gonna look great on 4K.
Cannot wait to watch it again. So yeah, this and The Witch. Like The Witch is one of my favorite horror movies ever.
I really need to rewatch it because I didn't really see much special about The Witch when I watched
it. My brother watched it just last year and he didn't really vibe with it either. It's not for everybody. It's a slower paced movie, but I really like it.
I mean, just go into it with the idea that it's basically Among Us with.
Yeah,
The Witch.
I'm not it. Don't throw me out. Don't throw me out. It's not me. I'm telling you, it's Black Phillip. Anyway, yeah, that's very true, Edgar. I didn't think about it like that.
Josh, you got anything else?
I saw The Fire Inside.
Okay.
Amazon really fucked up the marketing of this movie because it's one of my favorites of the month. It's so good. Yes, the first act is very conventional, right? You have your boxer. She plays. I want to get the name right.
Man, Amazon's been fucking out a lot of movies recently.
Yeah. She plays Clarissa Shields, one of the most famous female boxers, one of the first to win a gold medal for America. And it's really strong, like black history in terms of like what she's dealing with as a black person in the boxing industry and as a woman within the boxing industry as well. What she has to deal with is very heartfelt, very engaging, especially so compelling is her dynamic with Brian Tyree Henry, who was her coach.
That man is so good.
He's so good. Have you seen this, Edgar? Or
yeah, I've seen it.
Oh wow. Where he initially doesn't want to train her, but of course he gets, he can see her talent. And really that creates such a strong personal factor all throughout the movie that I was so gravitated by. And yeah, the first act is conventional, but the movie really shines in the back half of this movie where it really delves into the personal, the post effect of after achieving success. How did the others react to you? How do they connect with you? What are their expectations of you? And in turn, what are the expectations of yourself? Why is it that you wanted to start this profession in the first place? The movie really challenges her love of the sport with the love of her family and really trying to balance that. I think they do a really good job. Rachel Morrison does a really good job conveying that really sharp, personal, heartfelt, emotional factor in a way that I really felt for her circumstances. It was really, really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much agree with everything that you said. I really love how it almost deconstructs the biopic formula. Yes. I feel like another movie would maybe just like end where the middle half is and just give you like a quick recap in the credits.
Yeah. Here's the white text.
Yeah. But like this movie really diving into the whole hardships of like, did I do all of this just for nothing? It's really interesting. And like you said, like Brian Tyler Henry, that man, we need to give him an Oscar someday.
We do, man. I'm watching this. I'm like, God, he's so good. Like, there's some great, compelling arguments in this movie where I understood both sides.
Did you guys watch Causeway? last year.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, that's
good
what
in
we
that.
for
When he got
Lawrence.
nominated for.
I didn't watch that one. I need to watch that. Yeah, that's
Just
on
so
Apple
good.
TV, I think. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to watch that. So yeah, Fire
I
Inside.
could just run through a bunch really fast.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Fantastic. Okay, give me a second.
Oh, while you looked that up real quick, sorry. I saw Flow this month, earlier this month, in December 6th, December 7th. I logged it in late because when I watched it, I couldn't really come up with a reaction with a review. It's one of the rare movies I watched, and I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Where it's not that I hated it. I really like this movie. I think it's one of the most visually interesting movies I've ever seen in terms of like no dialogue or following a cat in this post-apocalyptic world. So I really admire that. It's a really risky, ballsy, but incredibly fascinating tale where they're not hand feeding you a lot of its meaning. You have to.
I'm really excited to watch this.
You have to watch the experience that a cat goes through, how it connects with the other animals that it comes across. I will say it doesn't have like the queer effect for me, but I will say there are certain scenes where I'm just like, I know, very weird.
Wild statement.
What I'm trying to say is that there's some subtextual stuff that didn't really
too woke for you. It's not woke enough.
Yeah, the cat story is very too woke. But there are some subtextual shit that happens in the third act where I'm just like, I have no idea what's being said here. I love the last shot of this movie, but there's some
very ominous.
Two cats crawl inside each other. So happens.
Yes. But it's some ominous shot at the end. I'm like, okay, that really hits. But there are certain, like Edgar, I'll just say it because you've seen it. The stuff with the bird on top of the tower. I'm like, what the hell is happening? So unfortunately, there was some subtextual stuff that didn't really connect with me. But as a whole, though, I was still incredibly fascinated by this movie. It's so sweet. It's so cute. It's so cool. Because again, there's no dialogue. I'm just watching this cat go through a lot of these trials.
Every time that cat fell into the water, I was stressed the fuck out.
I was stressed. I was so stressed. But when it did fall in the water, that's what made the last shot so good, because it did interact with this creature. I don't want to say what. Every time it fell in the water, you would see glimpses of this creature, which showed up towards the end of the movie as well.
So I'm guessing you still like Wild Robot more?
Yeah. I still like Wild Robot. Because I really like Wild Robot, motherfucker.
Edgar?
I like this better than Wild Robot, I think.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. You haven't seen the fucking movie, Josh. What are you talking about? Oh my god.
I like Wallace and Gromit better than Wild Robot.
Ooh, I can't wait to watch that.
I need to watch more Wallace.
I need to watch the original first, Were Rabbit.
I mean, it helps. It's a great movie too. So
it's really short too, right?
Yeah.
There's just one previous movie, but there's multiple shorts.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the shorts in the past, but it's been.
And Shaun the Sheep too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's different. Is that connected?
That's a different story, though, right?
Kind of connected, but not really. Okay. Just in the same universe, but.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think they were connected at all. But I used to watch those as a kid, but it's been so long. Wasn't some of the shorts like 2004 or in the 90s?
Something like that. Yeah.
Because I remember watching them. I know of Wallace and Gromit, but I haven't watched them in a minute. Would the movie be your 2025 ranking, Edgar?
Which one?
The one that just came out.
I mean, they didn't have
October.
Well, yeah, but they didn't have because I know people have been seeing this movie. I think it already released in Europe in 2024.
Yeah, in UK.
Yeah, it had like a theatrical run.
So you would put it in 2024?
I would, yeah.
Because it's coming out on Netflix in the US just this past Friday.
Yeah, but it's Netflix.
But wait, that's a lot of movies though. It's a word thing.
Okay, I'll put
The Brutalist is coming out next month for most people.
That's 2024. I consider that 2024 because it got a lot of
screenings.
Same with Wallace and Gromit.
It's whatever. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Are you ready, Josh? With your speaker?
Hit us, Josh.
All right. Let me do the times down. All right. First, what was first?
I saw Rudolph.
I did watch Rudolph. But I won't talk about it.
You
It's
have,
classic.
you have to. Rudolph is a classic. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Oh, Look Back. I'd start with that. as
You
far
told
as
me about that
catch-up.
last time.
Yeah. Oh, what did I?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
You like you.
The
didn't like it as
Apprentice
much as
then. The Apprentice. I feel like this worked for me more than most people. I feel like I really like the photography with this. It's really like grungy 70s look. It's like a warm glow that like kind of leads you down to this nightmare. I think Sebastian Stan, like I said earlier, it's what he does here is fucking remarkable. It's so much more nuance as a like impression of Trump than like we see in SNL. He's like
Really?
he gets so much deeper with it, down to every like lie and insecurity and like lip pucker and everything about him. Like he just embodies all everything we hate and everything that's charismatic about Trump all at once. It's like a slow evolution into like himself. Like we see it throughout the course of the movie, him slowly get into like the Trump that we know, and it's just really fascinating. And Jeremy Strong, obviously incredible here.
The dinner
So
scene.
fucking good. Oh my god. And I don't know if like people are shouting her out, but I think Maria Bakalova is also really good here. That trio is like one of the best trios of the year. And the year filled with great trios. So I really liked it. I think it doesn't really have much new to say, but the framing of the story is what really adds nuance to it.
Yeah.
What else?
Anywhere for The Apprentice?
I rented it.
Oh, okay.
I rewatched Real Pain. Great movie. 5 stars for me now. Love that movie
Not
so much.
as great as Sonic 3. I'm kidding. It's great.
Oh, this is a interesting one. September 5.
Oh, how'd you see this?
It was LA, baby.
Of course.
Okay, so it's really well produced. It's really well shot, and that performances are great. But
How's John
huge
McGarvey?
buts. Great. They're all great. I think his morals are really ugly and
Ugly. Wow.
frustrating. It
what?
says it's trying to be apolitical, but it doesn't shy away as painting Palestinians exclusively as these mass monsters. Its point is not to provide nuance into this conflict, but the fact that that's its point and the way that it quickly brushes over why these events are happening speaks volumes for me.
Really?
Do you know what this movie is about?
Oh yeah, historically, it's the Palestinian terrorist.
Yeah. But it doesn't provide any nuance into those events. It just provides more nuance to like, I don't know. It's hard to explain if with this. It's one of those things where you have to watch it and kind of like
see it for yourself.
Yeah. But I did not like it much.
I heard some people kind of the opposite. Talk about the messaging as like the media. How is the media message, right? Because isn't that the point of the movie? Like, what do you do as a media?
It is, but I think there's a way of doing that while also going deeper into the why of it all.
Okay.
Like why these events are happening.
Yeah.
Like why the terrorist attacks even happen in the first place, which this doesn't address at all.
Yeah, like I haven't seen the movie, but just from what you're saying,
like these attacks were bad, but they did happen because of the Israeli hostages that happened for Palestinians.
Yeah, but no, what I was going to say about the whole media point of view of the movie is that does it at any point try to criticize the media for how it covered it in the moment?
No, not really. I mean, there isn't a moment of, but that's just more on like a false result of the event, not on the conflict. It doesn't really say much about what it's going for, and I think that the fact that it doesn't say much about the overall why the movie's even happening in the first place says a lot for me.
Maybe a stupid comparison, but it's kind of like Joker, where it tries to say so much and it ends up saying nothing.
I think Joker kind of does say something though.
There you go.
About the character, not really.
about like I think
I
don't know.
always
I think
figured Joker was
it's
more,
more
like
relevant with its themes than this movie for sure.
I always felt like Joker was more like the messaging was strong for it himself.
Joker 2, I'm talking about. Joker 1.
I'm talking about the first
We're
one.
saying the first one.
I feel like you understood Joker a lot in the
yeah.
first one, not the themes.
There's a lot of themes that are trying to be attempted, but horribly executed. I think it's similar to Joker 1. Then yes, Edgar.
Yeah.
Except that like this movie. Okay. This movie tries not to have themes, but in doing so, it has a lot of. It says a lot about itself.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least put it.
Yeah. Not without trying to get into spoilers, but maybe not like in the brutalist where it tried to
seeing brutalist like days after this, fucking night and day in terms of nuance.
Yeah, because it I feel like obviously the brutalist does dive into that whole conflict. Not that particular. It does
dive into Zionism, yeah.
Yeah, and it does it in a very nuanced way. And how you're describing it, it's just very like by the numbers or like very like.
No, this doesn't touch on it at all.
Yeah,
it's more about the television crew covering these events, but I think it's a bit like sure that's not the point is to like touch on the conflict, but I still think it's a bit cowardly not to.
Speaking of the Brutalists, I finally got a release date for it in Ohio.
Oh shit! Okay, big news.
January 17th, the day of the Oscar nominations.
All right. That's kind of not that far away.
And then I'm Still Here also got one for February 6th. On Fandango, at least.
I don't think that's playing here.
Still can't even see what's it called, Nickel Boys or September 5.
Do we want to save Nickel Boys for next month?
I would say so. Maybe let's see if Evan can see it by then, but I will see.
Okay, go
on. All right. I did see Brutalist again. Speaking of, bumped it up to 5 stars. I think it really warts all came together for me in that viewing. Especially the end. I've had time to like stew on it more, and I kind of see what it's putting down. No spoilers, obviously. What else?
Interstellar.
Oh yeah, I saw Interstellar IMAX 70 millimeter, the whole shebang. One of the most overwhelmingly emotional theatrical experiences I've had recently.
One of the perfect examples for me of a movie where, sure, maybe the logic or some of the plot doesn't fully mesh or make sense, but like I don't really give a shit if the movie's getting an emotional reaction from me as much as this movie does.
I historically I don't fuck with Interstellar that much.
Really? Okay.
It's not my kind of thing. I mean, it should be my kind of thing. I love emotional sci-fi, and it really is. But like,
it's like Peach Evan.
I never really got emotionally gripped by it when I first watched it back in 2014.
You should have saw it in theaters. I think that really helps.
I should have. Well, when did it come out? It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Like early December.
I feel like I was busy. I think I was busy with the work or something.
Mid.
What was
that? This guy completely.
So he's calling it mid. It's in middle of December. Yeah, he'll be back.
I thought it was my wife. I was like, oh.
Me too. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, I for some reason, I think it's hitting Netflix this week, or maybe it's already on Netflix. I really need to rewatch it and give it another chance because I feel like I'm in the vast minority with Interstellar.
Yeah.
Because I back then I used to think like, do I still like Christopher Nolan movies? Because he made The Dark Knight Rises, which I didn't really enjoy. Interstellar, which I was like, oh, it's good, but I didn't love it. And then he did what was after Interstellar? Was it Dunkirk? Yeah, Dunkirk, which I still do not like. And then Tenet, which I did not like. So like half his filmography, I'm like, I do not like these movies. But then he made Oppenheimer. And I'm like, I love Oppenheimer.
Banger.
So I'm back. And then Odyssey just seems right up my mythological brain. So
yeah. Did you have to Google the Odyssey?
Yeah, I had like, what the heck is Homer? Like Homer Simpson? What? No, I'm kidding. I love the Odyssey. I remember for the Odyssey, like I was in my 7th grade English class. We had a mythology book, which we learned about different myths. so there was like a certain section on the Odyssey which I was fascinated by, and then at Walnut Hills, my high school, we have. Oh, you're back.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
You're good. Yeah, we have Latin class, and I learned about the Odyssey there too.
You call Interstellar mid. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah. Is that working out?
Mid.
It's the total opposite of mid.
Do you have anything else?
Yes. Okay. I watched this movie called Red Rooms. You guys know about this?
You or Chris Tucker recommended this movie, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's been on a lot of like end of year lists, I was saying.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best, or one of the best movies to capture isolation and desperation of being online in the current moment, at least since Bo Burnham's Inside, personally, for me. It's like really chilling sound and imagery. And the main actress, Juliette Garapi, incredible.
Sure.
So the thing about this movie is it's like there's this man on trial for committing atrocious murders and these things called Red Rooms, which is like him live streaming himself, like literally torturing and sawing people up. Yeah, fighting atrocious. We don't see any of that in that movie. But there's this girl who becomes obsessed with his trial and if he did it or not, and like there's several twists and turns, and I don't want to reveal much about it.
You're really selling me on this movie. I really want to watch.
It's really fascinating, like such an interesting, like introspective thriller. It's incredible. It's so like probably some of the most horrific imagery and word I've seen this year.
That was only $3 on Amazon.
Yeah, I rented it also. Really good. Highly recommend. Okay. I watched Janet Planet. Do you guys know about this?
I've heard of it. Is this a documentary?
No, it's a festival movie from last year. Julianne Nicholson is the main lead from Mayor of Easttown, Evan.
Oh, she's like
best friend.
Her best friend. Yes.
She's great in this. I'd say it's like the After Sun, but for mother daughters.
Ooh, that's deep. High praise.
Yeah. I'd say it's up there with His Three Daughters for some of the most like vulnerable performances in writing I've seen last year. It has so much purpose that's like, but it's also really understated. Same with After Sun. A lot of shots that like linger with you for a while. Zoe Zedwer, which is a kid in this, incredible. Another great kid performance that goes underlooked.
Good.
Definitely recommend that as well.
You said that one was called what?
Janet Planet.
Janet Planet.
What else? Memoir of a Snail. Have you guys talked about that? I know you've seen it, right?
We talked about it. What do you think?
Oh, you're muted, Evan. Or Edgar, I mean.
No, I was just saying that we talked about it last month, but you can go for it.
Yeah, I was surprised by how fucking depressing this movie is.
Right? I'm like, how is this so emotional?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Truly is like an adult animation. It's like so it's so weird and gross, but it kind of awards in its favor.
The last like 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, yes.
Bliss.
So good.
That's my animated movie of the year for me.
I think it's up there for me too. Yeah. Snatch Shack. Do you guys know what this is? Gabriel LaBelle playing a 14-year-old.
The fuck?
It's these two kids who.
It's a comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy. Teenage comedy, very coming of age. It's sweet. These two kids who like get in trouble a lot, find a job at a pool, community pool, selling like a Snatch Shack or a snap stand or whatever.
Is he believable as a 14-year-old?
He's very ripped, so it's kind of weird. It's interesting. It's fun. Then I'll end on Will and Harper. a documentary with Will Ferrell.
This is a documentary. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, one of his closest friends comes out a trans woman, and they take a road trip to really figure out where their relationship and friendship is. And I think it's really sweet, and I think it's equal parts endearing and important. And it's like a joy that doesn't shy away from like moments of despair and hard questions. And it's just really, really, really sweet and wholesome.
Awesome.
Then actually onto the forgot. Sorry. This is entered my top 10 of the year. It's a big one for me that I know Edgar didn't love. Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh yeah, people love this movie.
Let me sell you on this fucking movie.
You can't. I've seen costing.
I know you would hate this, but for me, it is so my shit. It is like 90 minutes of live action Looney Tunes mixed with like Jackass and like also one of the best representations of video games and movies I've ever seen. It's a roguelite movie. It's so good. This movie's genius. It's like just DIY filmmaking at its best. One of those movies that you can't believe actually happened.
Wow. Yeah. I've seen constant like clips of them in the woods.
I know Chris Studman gave it his number 1 of the year.
Yeah, so. Yeah, because he had a lot of fun with it. It does seem like a Chris Studman movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
I will give it that. It's unlike anything that I've seen ever, probably.
Yeah. You said it got too repetitive for you?
Yeah, I forgot too repetitive, like the bits for me.
I feel like it kind of builds on itself constantly, is where it kind of like escaped that for me.
Yeah, but like I was telling you in person not too long ago, I also saw this movie not in the best mood for it, so maybe in a rewatch I'll like it.
That's it.
Interesting.
ISTV, we had waited to really talk about it until it finishes, but Skeleton Crew.
Solid.
Yeah. I've watched the first 3 episodes. I need to catch up, but it's one of my favorite Star Wars series that have come out so far.
You need to catch up on a lot of
I know. But yeah, it's really fun.
I'm having a fun time with it. Yeah, Nathan and I are going to do a review of the past 3 episodes because we didn't talk about them since Christmas break. So yeah, I think every episode gets better and better for the show. Mm-hmm. So progressively better. The kid dynamic. The most recent episode is probably my favorite, but I said that about the last episode too. So again, it's getting better and better. And I'm very curious to see how it ends. It has a very fun Wizard of Oz-esque aesthetic to it in terms of like the main person being like, who is this supervisor? Who is this Oz-like supervisor?
Really interesting.
Who's really keeping things on lock at our planet at Aden. The
so
kids
Nathan
have their
hates
own. No kid. Wow, Nathan really likes it. But the kids have their own internal struggles. Yeah, it's not anything groundbreaking or crazy or awesome, but it's a consistently fun time. And the latest episode delved into some internal character struggles and relationships that I liked. Yeah, it's no Acolyte. It's really
this might like this isn't like the fact that I'm not caught up on it isn't in fact like towards its quality. Like I think it's one of the best Star Wars like live action shows we've ever gotten. It's just like pure magic.
4,
and 5. There's a lot more than that.
Mando, Boba, Ahsoka. Okay,
but it's like right behind Andor for me personally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's not blowing me away, but it's fun to talk about.
Everything I want. It's weird. It has a lot of puppets. Good shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Good shit. Yeah, I also watched Squid Game season 2, which was fun and different. Have you guys watched Squid Game season 2 yet?
I saw it and I thought it was pretty good, but I know that the show is doing really well viewership wise, but it feels weird that
no one talked about it.
Yeah, it feels like nobody's talking about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's apparently Netflix's new highest grossing TV series, at least opening week. Which I think I had a lot of fun with Squid Game in season 2. It's very different.
I need to watch the first season?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's a sequel.
This is actually good.
Yes.
It doesn't seem good.
It's really, really
Doesn't seem
good.
like my thing. I don't know.
What's I don't. It's a thriller.
I have a lot of things, but this doesn't seem like it.
Are you gonna wait for the David Fincher one?
Yes.
Oh, it's a thriller. I think it's a universally.
I think the fact that
fun-
like it was such a dead thing, kind of. I don't know.
Maybe
It might be overhyped for me.
But yeah, I really like season 2. It's very. I can understand why people didn't like it because it's very different. My only criticism of season 2 is that the way it ends is like, oh well, here's season 3 next. Like it doesn't have a conclusive like.
Yeah.
And it's always bugged me as a TV person. It's like the season doesn't have a like season ender. Like, but maybe season 3 has something different that's going to offer, and then I can look back on season 2 differently. But it does be like, okay, there's a lot of missing threads that we didn't develop at all in season 2 that we introduced in season 2 that we didn't finish, but watch us wrap it up in season 3. So there are certain character moments and certain character threads that I just have to wait to see finalized in season 3. But what we got in season 2, the way they delve into less so the games, but the social psychology of like how the games are impacting people and whether people want to continue or not. I actually really enjoyed that. I felt like it was very interesting and compelling. I know a lot of people were like, I just want more games, but like I actually like they didn't focus too much on the games. We've been there. We've done that.
It's like you're missing the point of the story.
Yeah, like the characters have been there, done
that.
Like
everything I've heard about it, Netflix doesn't know the point of this show.
Oh, they definitely
don't market it. Yeah.
In terms of what way?
That is an actual reality show about Squid Game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reality show was actually pretty good.
But like, doesn't that defeat the purpose of what the show is trying to say?
I mean, the show's trying to say reality shows in general are like, yeah, we have a million reality shows. Netflix isn't the only one.
Yeah, but this feels kind
feasting
of
off
weird
of people.
And cheap.
That's reality shows in general.
Is that appropriation? In a way.
What are you, anti-appropriation? That's reality show in general. People pay
it's
money
actually
to watch people.
I'm not pro reality show, Evan. Like you are.
No, I'm just saying, it's like people keep saying Netflix is appropriating. Yeah, because Squid Game is a rare show that's actually trying to talk about it. But
isn't the point that like the show, like, damn show of it all is bad?
Sure, but that's the point for a Squid Game, not for like, yeah, game shows and Squid Game are bad because they're killing people.
Isn't Mr. Beast the show?
Like I haven't watched that, but like the show, the point to make is like, yeah, they're getting off people's lives because they're abusing people who are extremely broke and giving them extremely brutal circumstances.
And yet you're gonna make that a real life game show.
Yes, for money. What's the harm?
Weird. It's kind of like defeating the purpose, isn't it?
Maybe. People got money from it though. Shit, somebody actually got $1 million from it. Shit.
Evan, you're the problem.
Maybe I am. Would you go on a game show for $1 million? Yes or no?
I mean,
yes, you would.
Yeah, but I wouldn't love it.
You wouldn't want to be on a show for $1 million? Come
on. Like the whole, I don't know.
Oh, I don't want to do it because Netflix is appropriating me. Fuck out of here.
That's like, not. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like the whole theme of the show is that consumerism and like the capitalism
exploiting people for entertainment.
Yeah,
yes, they are. I can name a billion other corporations that are doing the exact same thing.
But yeah, like I understand that, but to make the game show and the show that depicts that a reality in our current life is kind of weird.
It's weird, but it's enjoyable as fuck.
Fair enough.
It was a fun reality show.
Part of the problem, but fair enough.
I will say. I heard like the experience filming that Netflix really did them dirty. Like the experience wasn't the most fun thing.
Obviously, of course.
But there's some people that I've watched like post-season interviews of Netflix Challenge, and they said like, yeah, it wasn't great, but like I would do it again or whatever. But like,
I mean, I don't think that says much.
It doesn't, because it's $1 billion on the line.
Yeah, but that's a problem.
It is. So I do.
I don't think we should be doing that.
I do understand what you're saying, but it's fun to watch at the end of the day. I know.
Okay.
Anyways, Squid Game season 2, fun season, different season. It's inconclusive, but I like what they tackled here in season 2. Yeah.
Anything else? Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's a long one, but that's how we do it. Yeah, I can't wait to see what we podcast about in 2025. Again, we're gonna do some more rankings, hopefully.
Finally, after a fucking year.
Some commentaries more this year.
Drafts.
Some drafts.
I
love drafting. Yeah, exactly.
Oscars.
I already have like a long draft. So I'm ready. I don't care what you guys pick. I'm like, I don't think Edgar or Josh are gonna pick these movies, but we'll see.
I don't know about that.
How many did we draft last time? It was like 8.
We should do more this year, though.
I think it was
10. I'm telling you, there's a lot of
10
good
each.
movies. 10 seems like a lot.
No, I'm down for it, but I don't think that's what we did last year. I think we did 6.
I can double check later.
We'll double check, but I'm telling you,
down to at least 8.
There's some good movies coming out this year, blockbuster and indie. Yeah. So I'm excited. But okay, you guys can find me on Twitter, Harris EV9, living it up. It's been 17 days without going back to school where I work at, a teacher. Somebody tweeted me like, "Are you still?"
When do you go back? Next week?
I was supposed to go back today, Monday, but we had a snow day. It's snowing like crazy in the Midwest. Nice. And guess what? Snow day again tomorrow. So I'm like, this is great. And one of my student, what's it called? Specialists, whatever they're called. She texted me and they're like, well, the district just said we might have school off the rest of the week if it gets too cold because it's going to get down to next to 0 degrees this week. So it's cold, it's snowing, so I might have school off again. So that's me. This week, Nathan and I will be talking about the past 3 episodes of Skeleton Crew, like I just talked about. We're enjoying the show a lot. And yeah, that's about it.
Edgar.
You can find me at ETG. So all social medias. You can find some of my written work at the Cinema Spot and Loud and Clear Reviews. I wrote a little paragraph for our end of the year list for Different Men and Love Lies Bleeding. So if you want to read some of my thoughts on either movie, you can go check that out. And I'll be here for the next couple episodes.
Yeah, we for once we actually are doing several this month. We have a plan. So yeah,
let's talk about that real quick.
Our plan next week will we be doing our 2025 movie draft. Haven't nailed down a day, but probably like around Monday-ish. Then later that week, before Friday, we'll be doing our last Oscars video before the Oscars noms, a biggie.
Yeah, the Oscar noms are the 17th, so we got some time.
Yeah.
Wow. Golden Globes really
messed everything up.
For me, specifically, as a
I think kind of like nailed things down a bit.
Yeah, it nailed things down. Like it was a crazy Golden Globes for like the winners.
I guess we just made this if we like a little bit about Golden Globes.
But like there was it definitely solidified my predictions that I already had. Like I already had Zoe as number 1. That might happen. I had Kieran at number 1. That might happen. I had Brody at number 1. That might happen. So those performances are solidified. It's the best lead actress. Yes, it's the lead actress one that surprised me because I thought Mikey was running away with it.
Nora Dunzo,
which sucks because a huge Nora fan. It's my 3rd favorite movie.
But I don't think I ever said it, but like deep down, I always thought I didn't see Nora as the Best Picture winner.
I don't see a lot of the contenders.
I think Brutalist makes the most sense right now.
That's a 3.5-hour movie.
Oppenheimer.
That was 3 hours in this Nolan, and it's
okay. Different. This is very similar.
But yeah, it just seemed like this seemed like a Roma or like a Power of the Dog type of.
I don't think that at all. Just the way the release schedule, like the way it's rolling out, it's very different than Roma.
Roma had already came out in like November. Power of the Dog came out in
That's the thing.
This one hasn't even come out at all, which is
that's to help it, I think.
You think?
Yeah. Zone of Interest became like number 3, even 2 maybe last year.
No, it did not.
Yeah, it did.
It won Best Sound and it won Best International.
It won way more than
Poor Things was number 2.
Yeah, what was number 3? Probably Zone of Interest.
I don't really think so.
I think so.
Zone of Interest? Okay.
Yeah.
But either way,
Anatomy was 3. I don't know.
Either
it was high up there. It was top 5.
It wasn't going to win.
No, it wasn't going to win, but it was like in people's minds because it had come out. Recent.
I just think the same thing for Brutalist. And granted, I might change my tune when I finally see it, but I don't know.
Anything's better
I
than
don't
Amelia
know.
Perez. That's the
Oh
thing.
yeah, but
I
like,
agree. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If Honora can't win, I just need Amelia Perez to lose. like I'm not the
Agreed,
biggest
yeah.
like Conclave is the best fan ever, but like I'll take Conclave winning. It's
I
gonna be a
watched
boring.
Conclave in last night. Oh, that movie fucking hits.
I need to watch it
So
again
good.
because it's like I was talking about with Edgar last stream, and I was like, it's like my number 40 or 30 of the year.
Wow.
But like, it's good.
It's top 20 for me.
Sonic is better, but
Get out of here.
but I wouldn't be upset if that won compared to Amelia Perez. Do I see Conclave winning though? I don't know.
No, I think Amelia Perez is. I think it's between that and Brutalist at this point.
That's wild.
Maybe like very small chance Sing comes back, but I think it's very doubtful.
We need things to rise from the ashes.
Like if it is that Sadnom, all three of them, maybe. But
What's winning SAG? That's like the most baffling thing to me.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Can
Amelia Perez, probably.
really
Wicked.
win SAG?
Wicked, maybe.
Because like Carla's not getting the best love. It's just Zoe.
Is Brutalist eligible for SAG?
We'll see.
Because it has more than 3 performances.
It's definitely eligible. I don't know if it's going to be nominated though.
I think it might be.
I think it should, right? You have Guy Pearce, Adrian, Felicity. That's 3 right there.
Alessandro Nivola is rating it.
Who is the right
Joe
on
Allen?
Kraven?
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't do it.
Okay.
So, like, is Honora going to be in SAG Ensemble? You have a huge.
Oh, I think he'll still get nominated, but I don't
with the
think he'll
comedy
win.
people. If Honora wins SAG Ensemble, I'll be like the happiest person on earth. But I don't think it
Not
will.
happen.
'Cause I think it's just Mikey up there. I don't think Substance.
She's not winning SAG. Demi Moore has SAG on lock now.
I think so too. I think where can Demi? We'll see where Critics' Choice goes, but they're not really voting.
BAFTA, I don't know. Maybe Demi Moore also.
BAFTA's so baffling.
I don't know what else though.
I guess I can go Demi. Why not?
Maybe.
Right?
Oh, Baptiste might get BAFTA.
Maybe that'd be a shocking.
Fernanda Torres wasn't even on with it. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Do you have her in as 5 now instead of Angelina?
I don't know, because there's that stat where like everything that wins at Globes gets in, right?
For right now, I'll put Fernanda Torres as 5. But if SAG comes out on Wednesday and it's like,
because like
no Angelina,
if we're following Kristen Stewart, Jolie also missed SAG and BAFTA, but still got in the Oscars. But also Maria is way less watched than Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even watch it. And if I didn't watch it, nobody's watched it. I'm kidding. So yeah, I think lead actress is definitely. I think Demi's the front runner, but we'll see if anybody else can even try to claw their way up at her at this point. I mean, granted, she just won a Golden Globe, but it's the power of the.
But that's momentum, though.
It's momentum, yeah.
As Club Chalamet knows.
I think the picture and actress are the big surprises.
Actor, just that 5th slot. Like I think
just
it's Stan at this point.
I'll still put Craig in there, but Stan is undeniable. But what Stan movie do you go for?
Yeah, what movie are we going for? That's the thing.
I think Apprentice was more, but then different man. I don't know. So that's 5th spot is weird. You just see the sound stuff this morning. Gladiator didn't get any sound nominations.
I saw that. Yeah.
Looks like Alien Romulus might get 2 nominations to sound in.
Visual effects too, right?
Yeah. I think that's about it. Before we end, like people were saying, like, "Oh, this could be like the worst Oscar."
Oh wait, do we think Flo is gonna win?
Oh, great question.
I think it might, because Boy and the Heron also got Globe and got BAFTA, and I think Flo's gonna win BAFTA.
But this is such a small voting body. We'll see. I think if more people in general vote, it'll go for Wild Robot, just as like the numbers wise. But yeah, if
I think
and Boy and the Heron had right? What?
Everyone votes on animated, and Boy and Heron still won.
Exactly, but what I was going to say was that Boy and Heron won isn't the Miyazaki effect. Everybody who knows Miyazaki,
it's also could be winning more international. We know that with Academy.
Yeah, that's true. But like I think in general, American plus international, it will be like 60-40 Wild Robot for now at least. I'll still put Wild Robot.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I think it definitely had me scratching my head. Now I'm like, wait, there's actually a challenge in best animated. That's exciting.
For me,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I mean, animation usually doesn't have a lot of like egregious winners. Animation usually like I can't think of like a bad animated movie that won
Brave.
Best Animated.
Brave, yeah.
I never saw Brave, to be fair. So
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph.
yeah, Wreck-It Ralph is so good, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, real quick, I was gonna say that people keep on saying like this is gonna be a terrible Oscars year, but I don't think so. Like the only way this could be a terrible year if Emilio
Perez wins, yeah.
But all the other categories have deserving wins. Even Wicked winning like best production design, deserved.
I mean, Brody winning, that's very deserved.
Like I can't even in the text, I can't think of anything that like.
Even if Zoe Saldana wins, like I don't hate the movie. I don't like the movie much, but she's great. She's the best part of it.
She's the best part of the
deserving.
Movie. I don't like her character arc, if there is any, but like her performance is great.
Yeah,
she's really good. And El Mal is the only song I actually like in Amelia Perez. It's the one.
Mi Camino, like the other big one, it's decent.
That's the Selena one, right?
Yeah. And the Penis Vagina is pretty funny.
Yeah. People hate Selena in this movie. I'm like, she's fine.
She's fine.
She's all right.
People are like, she's ridiculously bad. She is one of the worst performances of all time. Granted, I'm not like a Hispanic speaker, so I don't know. But yeah, so I'm still very much looking forward to this Oscars race. It's
like the most interesting like up in there award season in a while.
Yeah, no Oppenheimer, no Everything Everywhere dominating.
No Barbie.
No Barbie. Yeah,
Barbie kind of fell off towards the end there.
At this point, Barbie did fall off. Yeah, because it had the Wicked thing where it's like it won box office achievement, and John Chu was just yapping.
And poor thing still wins away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but okay, that's about it. Josh, do you ever say where you can find you?
Twitter, Josh G. Woodbury, and Blue Sky, same handle. You can find this podcast at WHFG Podcast for updates and other shit. That's it.
That's it.
Next week will be a big one.
Oh yeah.
Watch this space.
See you guys later.
Bye.